Hello everyone and welcome to Dungeons and Dragons episode 10, The Lore of the Lands. Last week, our session actually ended when not only Tyrson, but Tyrson, Rhin'zey, Waruay, and Durotan was trying to actually make one of the houses, one of the lords of Matahari to actually come to his senses when other people was actually telling them, the heroes, that this particular lord was not being himself. He was actually quite sad due to the loss of his wife and daughter, and due because of that, he actually drunk himself. He actually drank himself to complete unknowingly, not even caring about the people of his hometown. But it was here that Tyrson managed to actually sober him up by actually mentioning one particular name, a name that Xanathar do not want to hear. While Tyrson was actually being strangled on the floor by this particular tiefling, the tiefling screamed out loud while actually holding Tyrson down. The tiefling's body engulfed in hot flame, hot hellfire that burned Durotan, Rhin'zey, Waruay, and even Elgen and Cornelius that was actually standing nearby, which actually completely burned the chairs and the table that was actually nearby them. And due to the heat itself, Tyrson is like you're completely on fire. You actually feel the slight burn to your hands, to your body, even to your neck. And Zad just then looked at you deep in the eye and told you straight and scream at you directly and said, "Why do you mention that name?" He looked at you, Tyrson. Okay, Tyrson, how do you respond?
I tell him you need to know who loved you and she and your daughter will be there with you all the time of making right decisions by the people. And I think your daughter especially would love to make sure you do right with your people than drink so much ale and trying to forget them. You should embrace them instead.
Roll for persuasion.
Do you want to be assisted?
If you want to be assisted, you have to role play what you want to say to Xanathar at the same time. Then I will allow you to assist. If you do not say anything, I don't allow you the assistance role.
Oh, okay. At least I know what to do now. Okay. Oh, okay, good. You got 16.
All right. Okay. You look at him. You speak up to him, and you tell him about the wife, his daughter. His flames doubts completely, making sure that you are not completely singed because of his holy flame. You're not too sure how strong this Xanathar Valoran is, but he actually managed to push you down. This Xanathar Valoran could be even stronger than Durotan and Rhin'zey combined together. And that's a particular reason why he is the Lord House of Matahari itself, looking into its well-being. He let go of his hands on your neck, Tyrson. Then you notice that the flames in his eyes started to actually douse slowly. And then he got up. He lifted you up together with him. And then he looked and turned his sight at Rhin'zey and then to Durotan and then to Waruay. And then even to you back after that. He said that he spoke. His voice was actually rough. But now it's like it's as if that every ounce, every inch of alcohol that was actually in his bloodstream is completely gone. It's as if that this man was just trying to perhaps get himself drunk. You're unsure when you actually look at him. Then he said, "How do you know about my wife and my daughter? And why are you even here? Are you here to make fun of me? Are you here to actually torment me again with this deaths? Or are you here for a particular reason altogether?" Then he turns to you, Tyrson. Then he turns to the rest of your companions. Elgen and Cornelius didn't say much. They were just there, quite surprised to see the actions that the rest of you actually done. For Cornelius and Elgen, they just stood where they sat. But then he turns to see and look at you at Durotan. And then, okay, alright, Durotan, then to Durotan, to Rhin'zey, to Tepes, to Waruay. Okay, Durotan, 2 actions. When you do.
As Durotan basically stands, he cleans himself from the flames and everything, fix his belt, and he just say to him, "We are here to help you, to help this town. Take a look around. Corruption is rampant. And what are you doing drowning your sorrows in ale, rather than making this town a livable place, a place where everyone can feel happy? Even those who are no longer among the living could be, you know, proud that you're doing something good, so that their death can never be in vain."
My wife and my daughter's death. His eyes can turn to gaze at you, turn to look at you. Have nothing much to do with what's going on. It is ever since then that their death has put me much into sorrow. And ever since then, a bunch of people that called themselves Brotherhood took over control of the town. And one of them actually gave him his word that he will look into the well-being of this whole place. It has been a good, or how can I say, uh, a good few months ever since they've managed things. I do not really care how they do things. Just leave me alone, you and the rest. I do not want to be disturbed, even yourself. And even you, then he totally turns and looks at Tyrson. And then he slowly then look up to you again, Durotan. Then you notice that this tiefling that points to you and said, "If you really think that you and your friends could really make amends, there's really nothing much that you could do. It's really nothing much. My wife was everything to him. My daughter, even more. What could you possibly do for me and for the people of Matahari? They are long gone. That's nothing much. There's really nothing much you could do. Barkeep, more bottles, please." Then after that, you see the barkeeper slowly walks over towards the cabinet and then picks up another bottle. And after that, she turns the gaze and looks at you, Durotan. And after that, to the rest of your party member. Hey, last action, Durotan, what do you do?
As she basically get the bottle, I'm like, without turning, I just simply tell her, "Belay that. This man is not drinking any more ale. And you should be looking after your people. Hell, if your wife and daughter were here, they'll be disappointed in you. They're up there in the seven heavens staring down at you, feeling sorry for you. Do you want that for them? Do you absolutely want them to feel sorry for you rather than feeling proud that you are moving on, that you are feeling strong, that you are not forgetting them, know what they stood for?"
Roll persuasion.
Okay.
Oish.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's better than a nat one.
Xanathar then turns and looks at you after you mention that. You raise your voice. Flower Trek, the barkeep, still holding the bottle. And after you spoke that way to Xanathar, he then looked at you and he said, my wife and my daughter is no longer here, or nothing they would do or they could do. If they were, I would stop, obviously. Then I would look into the well-beings of my people. But my heart has been completely broken. Without them here right now, without my daughter telling me what needs to be done. She was strong. But yeah, I still can remember her face, and only by drowning myself with all this ale, the fine elven ale, the dwarven black ale, and many more of the lands that have come. But what could you do? He turns. And then after that, her actions done. Okay, Rhin'zey, 2 actions to you. What do you want to do? Okay,
Rhin'zey.
Rhin'zey must be talking.
Rhin'zey.
Rhin'zey?
I think his mic. Rhin'zey.
Okay, skip for a while. Okay, going straight to
I'm here.
Tyrson.
Hello.
Alright, okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so what I want to say to him is that, yeah, your wife and your daughter is no longer around, but should they were, they would be watching you, and wouldn't you like to do them proud, live a good life, do good things, and help those who need help?
What is a good life? He looks to you, Rhin'zey. If the person that you love is no longer around together with you, what is the purpose of living? I would never take a dagger and slit my own on my own wrist. But what I could do is remember them by drowning myself in all this. But you don't see me frolicking with other women in the land, and you're telling me to live my life as it is, ignoring everything, making sure that their death was actually meaningless. What would you do if you lost somebody that you love? Your own children, perhaps. I don't see you perhaps as a type that would even marry or even settle a Leonin setting his foot in my town. It's rare indeed. But a Leonin that actually come and speak to me and give his own advice, you clearly have stood where I have not stood before. Roll for persuasion.
I'm sure I'm gonna go something high. Persuasion. You're joking.
He looks and turns. You and walk, no matter how high or how much you try, what can the two of you or the rest of your companions do? Okay, last one more action. Rhin'zey, what do?
I may not be a creature that would receive the warmest of welcome easily, if at all. But I do know of loss, great loss, and what I have chosen to do with that was that I used to, like you, drink my sorrows and fear and pain away. But that is not the way to go, and here I have decided to live a better life, become a better person, and do great things. And for those that have been lost, that I can tell them or show them with the way that I live my life, that their loss was not in vain. That I will become better, and I will show that I will do better, and I will show the world that hope is not lost in any case, as long as you still breathe.
You speak to me, he replied back, his voice deeper now than it looks to you, Rhin'zey. You speak to me as if you know loss, as if you have lost more than myself. I do not want to question you further on what you have lost during your life before you arrive here, Leonin. But if you could change the way that I do things, if you could change the way of how you do things, then you will need to show to me, perhaps, but not now, of course. How am I to know that the way that you do, the things that you do, would be sufficient, would be the thing that you believe could be changed, but it could not. I tried. I changed for the people. I changed for my wife and daughter. And where did it got? It got me right where I started. But if you could prove to me that you and your friends could make a way, could change how I see things, then show it. Roll for persuasion.
Can I get an assist?
If you want to get an assist,
Uh,
Tyrson have to respond as a role play to assist you. Then you
Okay.
get an assist. Okay, now I go to Tyrson first. Okay, Tyrson, what are you going to say? This will use your action to assist Rhin'zey.
Rhin'zey has a point. If you rode a horse before and learn how to ride, you fall off, you get back on it and try again till you learn how to ride a horse. That's the same as everything in life. You dust yourself off and get back on that horse of doing the right thing by your people and by your wife. By me visiting your lovely city, they are wanting you to be better for what you really are. Lead them, and who knows, you might find another partner you can spend more dreams with.
There is no other partner that could replace my former.
For
No matter
now,
how beautiful the other maidens of this land are, they come to me, they talk to me. Even even the young Petra, even Deidra tried to. Even they could not, and they are the most beautiful lass of the lands itself. Even Fleotorek, the barkeep, agrees with me. But I will never look for another. Nobody else can replace them. No matter how many horses, as you mentioned, that gallops through the land, through the open field. You see one that you like the most, but once you ride that horse, once that horse grew old and died, there will never be another horse that could replace the one that you want the most. So how,
but
young man?
but the truth is, there's always a good horse. You just need to be open to find that right horse to get back on and ride. And yeah, now you don't feel like it, but when you decide to go on that ride, you'll find a perfect horse you can ride. For now, we drink water and get to know each other. And what we can do to fix this town up. What say you?
There will never be a better horse than the one that I previously rode. He looks at you, Tyrson. And then Waruay, what you want to do? Okay, the role play just now with Tyrson is going to assist Rhin'zey. You
Yep.
can role play, which could give a +2 bonus to the roll. What do you want to say?
on me.
Mm-hmm.
I slowly walk towards him and I say, I have never really lost anyone close to me. I am a kobold, and kobolds don't really have parents or even children. We we grow up together as a family, so that way no one is singled out. So we all are together, and it is sad that you lost some people in your family, and you loved them greatly. But there are still many other people in your family here. And I turn around and I point to the bartender and I point to the other people in the room and say, any other people in town as well, they are your family, and yet they are hurting. You may not have been able to save the ones that you truly cared about, but your family here, they are hurting and they need your help. And I will walk up to him slowly and stare up at him with my big eyes and slowly place my hand on his hand and say that you can help them now, though.
Xanathar looks down at you, Waruay. Young kobold, how would you know about loss? But then, okay, Tyrson, please roll for your persuasion, and then Waruay, please roll for your persuasion. Your rolls will give Rhin'zey his bonus or not.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Tyrson roll, and then Waruay roll. Okay, Tyrson, no bonuses to Rhin'zey. Okay, Waruay, your turn. Okay. Alright, Rhin'zey, you have advantage. Don't roll too low. Roll twice.
Nice.
19 and 10. And then Xanathar looks to the whole four of you and he said, you speak to me as if you care, and yet you are just strangers within the town, faces that I've never seen, faces that I've never spoke with. Why do you all care so much about me and my town? You are just merely perhaps adventurous here, seeking coin, seeking fame and glory. What am I to you? Why am I so important? Okay, I'm gonna be moving from right to left now. Okay, Waruay, to action to you.
Okay. I'm gonna say, well, I'm not really here for money or fame or anything like that. I, well, set out and I see that there were people who needed my help, and I saw what was happening to the other kobolds of this land, and I knew that I couldn't allow it to continue because they are, in an essence, my family as well. Even though I have not met them, they are still my family. And I see what is happening here in this town, and the what is exactly what is happening to those kobolds, except for the eating part. I don't know if they're eating you, but I want to help you, just as I would help those kobolds.
Okay,
You
good.
may
Okay,
not look like me,
continue.
you are my family. Oh, what was that?
Okay, you're done, right?
Yeah. That
Okay,
was
good.
my action, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Tyrson, your turn, your action. Then after
Yeah.
your action was Durotan, I can Durotan with the last. Okay, go ahead, Tyrson.
I
You can reply on top of Waruay's response.
yeah, I don't think glory and a bit of coin. When I check my purse, I have enough coin for myself. So by not receiving anything but the gratitude of helping someone out when they're down is the biggest reward I can speak of, I guess. Um, always like to put a smile on a face. That's it.
Okay, all right. Okay, Rhin'zey, you can reply on top of Waruay and Tyrson.
You have faced some Dark pains. The world, unless you change, nothing will change. At least for you in your life. And drinking your pain away and running away from all of these things, you still have many years left of you. Still lots of opportunities, lots of chances, lots of ways, lots of resources like time in you. Will you just throw it all away? I believe you can be better. I know that I can be better. I'm still learning to believe that. And every day that passes, I believe in it a little bit more. And I believe that you can too. The world has not ended. There's sun still in the sky. There are other people around you. Waters and streams and rivers still flow. The birds still sing. And there is still life that is being born every day. If that is the world telling you that it is still believing in hope, and it still refuses to die, so why should you?
He turns to face you, Rhin'zey. And then lastly, Durotan. How do you respond on top of all the other three?
I walk into basically here, or should I say here, basically, and just simply say on top of them, your people need you. Be their shield. Be the torch that gives them hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Be a shining beacon that they can look up to. And that's it.
Okay, alright. Now, one of you guys, one of the four, either Durotan, Rhin'zey, Tyrson, and Waruay, roll a persuasion. This will be the main roll, while the other three will be the assist roll. So the assist roll, the first one will either give the advantage or disadvantage. And then the other two will give the plus bonuses, whether they pass or not when you roll on top of a 10. Okay, so who will be the main one to be rolling the persuasion check?
Who has the highest
Envy?
persuasion? Who has the highest persuasion?
Hang on, who's got the highest persuasion? Okay, let me just check my thing. I've got.
I'm +4.
Oh, okay. Whomever said the +4, you'll be the main role, and the rest of us will assist you. So first,
Okay.
I do have
first,
draconic presence. I do have draconic presence. If I fail persuasion roll, I can re-roll it.
oh, okay, that's good.
Oh.
That's good.
Oh.
I mean, you can roll if you want, but that's just an option. I only have a +1. So
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah. I mean, having a +4 is better than a +1, but at least you can use your draconic present to re-roll your stuff if it's a failure.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So,
I should mention it,
oh.
how much Everett we just put into this.
anyway, so all of us except I believe Tyrson will be rolling, or the person who has the +4. So I'll start first.
Yeah, I have the +4 too, and that's the +4. So.
Okay, I rolled a 6, but yeah, I hope the other people will have better luck. Okay, next person, that'll be Warwick.
Okay, rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay, at least you gave him a +2, I would say, an advantage. That'll
Yes,
be
I've got
Rhin'zey.
yep. Oh my gosh.
Okay, you have an advantage.
Only advantage, no bonuses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Better than nothing.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Oh,
Perception.
Oh, better. 21 better. A 21 is better than none. A 21 is better. I was. Oh.
It's like Tyrson's natural 20 of perception. You notice rats hiding at the barrels further behind Rhin'zey. Yeah,
I'm gonna get you.
they were perfectly hidden that nobody else knew they're rats. And then you see a sign on the wall that this tavern have an A class for being the cleanest. Obviously the bartender's lying. You notice that, Tyrson. But you focus your gaze instead at Xanathar. And you told him what you told him. And then Xanathar just like sat on the table, putting his hand on his forehead, wiping it off. And you see tears coming from his eyes and said, "Why do strangers like yourself care for somebody like me? What do I have that you can gain? Is it, do you really care about the things that have happened? And uh, do you do you even have anything, or do you even want something from me? Is this what it's all about? Is this it? Or I I feel as if that you are not here to torment my soul and the soul of my dead wife and my daughter. I can sense it from your words alone, all of you. Uh, then he raises his hand and told the barkeep, "You can forget the bottle, Fleur. Just get me normal water." And then he turns to all four of you and he said, "If you really want to help, then I want you to actually find out the, the cause of my wife and daughter's death. I sent when he came, he when he came to me once, the man that referred to the leader of the Brotherhood, he said that he would help. Then he came back days later and said there was nothing that he could do. And but I feel as if that he might miss a few things. And if you really, really want to help, perhaps you should investigate the shipwreck further to the cause of here and check the place. It's been months now, but no one dared to venture there eventually. It seems that the whole place is now filled with this unusual storm, and there were reports that Sagwins have make a nest nearby, near the seashores itself. But I see that you all are perhaps brave, adventurous as compared to the man himself that came to me. He never actually told me his real name, but it seems that he managed to govern and rule Matahari even better than me when I was gone and deep with sorrow." And then after that, he sat down and looked at you, Durotan. And then after that, what are you gonna say? One action to you, all the way to Waruay.
I just simply tell him that we do not seek any reward or anything. But my question to you is, how many loyal men do you still have who still uncorruptible by those people whom are currently managing Matahari on your behalf?
Uncorruptible. My men are loyal to me, but now they follow the Brotherhood because the man that leads them, I assure you, I believe that he leads them as I lead them. He speaks out. You notice that. Roll for insight.
Okay. And
That's pretty good.
Judging by the expression that Xanathar is actually giving you, Rotan, he's actually unsure. He's actually not sure what you actually refer to, or when you actually mention corrupted soldiers that actually work for the Brotherhood. He doesn't know whether the Brotherhood is actually corrupted. You notice it, judging by his eyes and his mannerism, when you actually told him about it just now. What you do?
I just simply like cross both of my hands and just simply tell him that until we can get rid of the Brotherhood, do not trust even your own men. Who knows? Maybe they will turn on you to serve the Brotherhood even more.
Roll persuasion.
Okay. Ugh.
My men are as loyal to me as they are to the Brotherhood. If they follow the Brotherhood under their law, then it is as if they follow mine. But I do not trust that they would betray the trust of these people unless you have proven that they are. And then after that, okay, Rhin'zey, do you? Two actions.
Rhin'zey. Rhin'zey.
Run.
Yeah. My mic just turned itself off. Okay. Sorry, I'm finding it hard to catch up on what's going on. I heard Brotherhood.
Basically, we're trying to, see if his men are, loyal, or have they gone full Brotherhood and they forgot about him.
And he wants to be reassured that they're probably not.
No, he's telling us they are not, corrupted, and they still obey him the same way they obey the Brotherhood, which at this point I highly doubt they obey him.
Alright, so what? We want to go talk to them then and figure out what's up and see if we can do something with them. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a shipwreck as well. He wants us to investigate regarding his
Do we need like
his deceased wife and child.
Well, why don't we go to the shipwreck and find this child then? Like, I mean, if it's what you really want and need, then anything that I can do to help, I'll do. That's my answer.
Okay, Xanathar and look at you. Then please do. And come back to me if you find anything. Anything at all.
Be my pleasure.
Okay. Then Tyrson, to you.
Well, my good friend, how far is this shipwreck from the coast?
It's roughly about 2 to 3 days of travel. But you don't have to worry. The route itself leading there is safe. But once you reach the shore, be careful of the storm. The lightning itself could be dangerous for anybody wearing anything other than metal.
As I look around, it's like, so we need a ship. I'll look around and see this lovely person in the far corner. I think I've got a ship. Bear with me, boys. I'm
You
gonna.
just found out you have a child, and you're kind of not in sort of engagement, and now you're prepared to hit on another woman.
Some parents you are.
Excuse me, miss.
We'll make another children.
Excuse me, miss. Got a quick question. Are you a captain of a ship?
And happen to
This
be
lady.
available and single.
This lady looks at you wearing her hat, apparently wearing her some sort of leather boots and leather strappings around her body, her rapier nicely put behind her back, and you notice that she has some sort of a flintlock pistol to her left side of her thigh. She's holding it, and she turns to you, she raises an eyebrow, and then after that, even though she's sitting on the chair, cross-legged, she mentioned to you, I heard your conversation with Xanathar over there. It seems that you guys are all apparently trying to help with the predicament that this town is having. And you're talking to me about a ship.
Yes. By looking at you, you must be a captain of a ship, are you?
Yes. Yes. And you are?
I'm sorry. I am Sir Tyrson. I bow. And you are my lady, and your name is?
My name is Ordelia. Nice to meet you, Sir
Nice to meet.
Tyrson of Val.
Nice to meet you too. Is she give her a hand, or is she like, no, I don't want to give my hand, something like that, to give us?
No, she's actually, her hands is actually on a cup of tea while actually sipping, and slowly her eyes actually like looking at you, her gaze, and her short white hair is like seemed to be hidden underneath her hat. Then she said,
Mm.
if you're looking for a ship, sadly I can't help you, Sir Tyrson of Val.
Well, that's all right. How come? Why you don't have a ship if you're a captain? Captains have ships.
We're
My
not
sister
allowed
has a ship.
we're not allowed to actually set sail under the law of the Brotherhood, due to the reason that there is some sort of mystical storm in the ocean that's preventing every ship from leaving. And even if we tried, we'll probably go shipwreck because of that storm alone. And we're unable to set sail unless, of course, somebody brave enough is actually willing to actually check what happened. But because captains like me are not allowed to set sail under the new law, me and my men have no choice but to stay at shore.
Well, have you tried to reason with the Brotherhood? I keep hearing this Brotherhood, and then I haven't met a Brotherhood. Would you be able to introduce me to them, my
The
lady?
Brotherhood, we don't simply walk and introduce ourselves to the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood will come and seek you out themselves. But the one that holds the power in high regards over here is Xanathar over there. But since that Xanathar is actually deep in need, death, drinking himself completely drunk, until he can actually get himself together and take over the ruling, that's what I heard, then perhaps he can actually overrule the the
The
law.
band?
Yes, the ban,
Mm.
making sure
Well,
that captains like me are able to set sail.
okay. Well, should I just paint a red sign and stick it somewhere saying, "Meet me here, Brotherhood?" Question
She
mark.
laughed. She laughed. It's not that easy. It's never that easy. Heck, I've never met any Brotherhood before. They come over and talk to me. I've been here in this tavern for the last months also. Thanks to the barkeep over there, sleeping here is not that expensive. It's manageable, but as a trader, I get all the cheap stuff.
Ah. Well, if I can lift this ban, you could help me out. My village.
If you
You're
could lift this ban, Sir Tyrson of Vow, she spoke out, I would gladly bring you to your village. You and whoever that you're willing to bring on my ship, free of charge.
Oh, thank you. I just hug her as she's still like as she was just trying to
You hug her and her eyes like raise a bit. You surprise Waruay, Rhin'zey, and Durotan at the same time. Cornelius and Elgen looks at you, and then you can see the expression that Cornelius and Elgen is like, hey, not again.
I know how to make this situation much more safer for him. Did you tell her you have a son and you want to marry her?
Oh yeah, my future wife and son. Um, we must be coming as well.
Ah, well, first things first, Sir Tyrson of Vow, you handle your situation, and once your situation has been handled, hopefully it can appease mine.
Thank you. Oh, I know where you are. Pat on the back and move over to the group.
Right. Okay, they revert to the group, and then what do you tell the group? But before I move to Waruay.
So we got a ship. We just gotta live. We have to lift the ban. and the only way to do that is talk to the Brotherhood or talk to you, because you can overrule the Brotherhood because you're a mayor, so the lord of this town. Job done.
Xanathar looks to you, Tyrson, and then he speaks out, even though I'm the Lord, or perhaps the one that the people look into and want to support. However, I made a mistake that I gave the seal of the House Valorant to the Brotherhood, and whoever holds the seal holds the power over this town. And without that seal, I'm just a single man sitting in this tavern drowning himself with ale. I'm just a normal person, regardless of name or title. The seal holds true, and whoever holds a seal that bears themselves from a certain number of houses, only the man that carries the name of the house carries the name of his glory. If you can get that, perhaps we can talk. But it won't mean anything too, even if you manage to get the seal. My wife and daughter will never come back to me. But I have a feeling that perhaps there are more truth to this than anything. If you
Who
could
knows?
travel, if you could travel to the
knows?
shipwreck and find out what you can find, I would really need to know the answer, Tyrson.
Yes, we can do that for you. Who knows? We might find them alive, surviving on things. You know, be positive.
Okay, all right. Okay, and then he looks at you and he says, "Be positive." And then Waruay, you heard a conversation between Tyrson and Odelia, or then Tyrson came back, and what do you do?
When he comes back, I sort of scratch my head a bit and under my breath and say, "So we want some more children?" Kind of shake my head and turn back to the mayor and say, "Well, sounds like it's a plan. We need the seal in order to go investigate the ship. That sounds simple enough."
Jonathan turned to you and said, "You are indeed wise, young kobold. But until then, there's really nothing much you could do. The captain over there is banned from leaving, as so on as other captains at the wharf themselves. Nothing much. But you really don't want to waste your time talking to a drunkard like me," he said. And then the water came given by the barkeep, and he just sat there and just drank water. You see Cornelius and Elgen just stood there and said, "We can be staying here until your return," Cornelius speaks out. "But for the time being, we'll try to see if we can get any other transportation out of here." And heading back to Underhall, Elgen seems to be quite agitated and he wants to leave very soon. That's what Cornelius told the rest of them.
As he's getting his water and drinking, I sort of scratch my chin. I look around, and I go over to the two pseudo dragons in the back, and I'll talk to them in Draconic and say, "Hello, friends. How would you like to help me acquire some shinies?"
One of them looks to you, and after that he speaks common, and after that he said, "Hey, look, little brother, it seems like this young little kobold trying to speak to us." And then after that, then one of them, another small little drake, actually just looks and said, "Look at that. He's trying to make conversation." And then, okay, Warwick, roll for persuasion with disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Not how I expected the conversation to start. Did that succeed?
Roll another time, one more time.
One more time.
Two times
Okay.
pick the lowest.
Oh, what's this with disadvantage?
Yeah, disadvantage.
Yeah, this is disadvantage, so yours is a 15. That's actually good.
The barkeep then turns and looks at you, Waruay, and says, well, Drago and Draco, they want to see shinies themselves on the table. And then Drago then turns to Fluid, the barkeep, and says, you shut your yap, fella. Let me speak to this couple. You want some shinies? You put some shinies here on this table right now. Then we'll decide to actually follow you if you have some shinies. Okay. How about it, Draco? Do you want to follow this young little kobold on his wild escapade while we do our little thingy? And after that, Draco then turns with his tongue exuding out and speaks out and said, hmm, 5 gold pieces for you, Drago, and 5 gold pieces to me, and perhaps we can change our mind. And what's your name, young little kobold?
I say I am Waruay Frostscale, and it is a pleasure to meet both of you. If they're asking for coin, then yeah, I don't see a problem with it. Although I only have 7 gold.
Draco then after that looks at you. And look at that, brother Drago. Frost scale here in this land. And Drago then speaks up. A frost scale? You're far from your hometown, young kobold. But I can smell your gold pieces. They're so little that we feel just we just stay back. We're gonna be sitting here until you actually get 10. But perhaps we'll probably change our mind. But then we'll stay here. And then after that, Fleur then turns to the 2 drinks on her table and said, you're just gonna be drinking all the way and then making sure that all the ale's finished. Then Drago then speaks out, better to be here than to be in a hot desert. At least I get to hear that young Xanathar complain about his life all the time. My wife and children died. Oh, my daughter died. He's so stories. That's what Drago actually spoke out. Okay, what are we do?
Okay. So yeah, I'll say, well, I don't have all of it now, but I happen to need to get a seal from, I say, the thieves in this town. Sort of.
Then they interrupted you immediately. You're talking about the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood only seeks Yorke when they feel they want to seek them out. But
Yep. Yes, exactly.
the best time to find the Brotherhood is you need to do something which, of course, would gain their attention. Obviously, what you're doing right now is obviously getting their attention. Trying to help Xanathar Valorant is perhaps one of them. That's what Drago speaks. Then Durako, the other one at the other end, speaks out and said, if you even went to further ahead and try to stop the Brotherhood, you better be watching your back, young kobold. Regardless, you and your friends would have to be very careful when you sleep at night, with one eye open if you were to, of course, try to stop what is they trying to stop in the first place. But enough of my talking. More ale, Fleur, more ale. Chop, chop. You notice that the barkeep then bring more ale to Drago and Duruko and putting it on the table for them to sip on, ignoring you completely, Waruay. So what you want to do?
I'll say, well, if you happen to know of a way that, say, a little kobold could sneak in and get this seal, I would be very appreciative. And if I happen to find anything, say, shiny while I'm in there, who's to say that I won't pick that up and accidentally leave it here?
Roll for persuasion.
Yeah. Oh, I will use my feature on that one.
I think you already used it just now. I think it's
Oh,
only once per day.
yeah, I can turn a failure into a success. So I already used it, did I?
Yeah, you already used it.
Yeah, you already used it.
Oh, okay.
Drago then turns to you and he's like, telling you where to sneak in. Of course, I have the answers for your questions. However, perhaps you should ask me again when the time comes. I am enjoying my ale right now. Chap chap, little cobalt, don't disturb me. I'm busy. Go and bother somebody else.
Right. I say thank you for your time, and I will bow a bit, and I will walk off.
Okay, you bow, and after you walk off after that. And then, right, meanwhile, Tyrson, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna. Well, I need to go back to the hut to get changed. So I'll meet you guys there, and I'll come back here later on tonight, and hopefully pick up a snag or two.
All right.
Okay, Rhin'zey, what do you want to do?
Let's say let's go find this shiny seal thing because that seems to be the greatest way to go about what we're gonna do next. And I walk.
Okay. Alright, Durotan, what do you want to do?
I go basically follow them since now we have to follow the seal, and I tell Waruay to follow us once he's done with his thing here.
Alright. Okay. There are shops here which you can go. You'll be walking around, you know the address shops. The address spells and potions. Another one is the merchant shop. Another one is the armor merchant. And after that, Tyrson's home. And then
Yep.
after that, the temple of Tasa, where you can actually pray to the goddess of Tasa. And then after that for blessings. And perhaps you can even go to the cells itself, which is here. And then after that, always rest throughout the whole day at the tavern, which is the Rusty's Tavern. Okay, so now I'm going to be moving from Durotan again back to Waruay. Okay, Durotan, where do you do? Where do you want to go? If you want to go out of town, it'll be later. If you want to be going to the shops, it'll be here.
Yeah. The time of day is in the afternoon, right?
Almost evening.
Oh, okay. Since it's almost evening, I walk very slowly, following Tyrson back to his home while looking, since I never been into a town before. So he's like, this is a nice place. I could get used to living here. As I basically entering, following Tyrson, I put my sword like somewhere here from my back, and my backpack like somewhere here, as I basically walk, and that's when I talk to Tyrson. How about we're going to find this? What did he call it? The seal?
Yes, the seal. I think if we play our cards right, the seal will come to us. So yeah. Oh well, this armor I'm wearing is so tiring. Jeez, man, walking around. I just can't wait to get it off.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean,
I scratch my head as well. I'm confused.
oh, I never worn anything beyond my belt and pants. But hey, what's yours is yours, and how are you planning to play your cards right? Those people, they don't play with cards, they play with daggers.
Well, we could just take the ring, the seal, if we know where it is, or if we can learn where it is, we can just go in and take it. By the sounds of it, these people stole it from the mayor, so it doesn't belong to them in the first place.
And what's your conversation with those two little lizards, can't you?
Oh, I was asking them for their help, but then I pull out my coin purse and say, I don't have enough shiny coins for them to help me though. But one of them seemed to know a way in, a way that I could sneak in unnoticed. Although he wants something in return. I think it's just more gold, but I have to ask him later.
How much did they ask for?
Well, 10 gold. And I pull out my coins and start counting them. I was like, I only have 7, so I need to make 3 coal.
I could give you 1. Tyrson could give you another. That leaves you with 1 coin.
And say, how does someone make coin here? I don't really have anything to sell here. I'm a bit out of my element.
Good
Normally
question.
back in the cave. Yeah. Oh, and I walk over to the boy and ask him, "Do you know how your people make gold in this land?"
The young elf, Alwyn, then turns and looks at you, and then he said, if I remember my father and mom correctly, they sell their wares by being a merchant. So you just have to buy or perhaps sell things, and then you will get what you need. Perhaps if you have items that you want to sell, you can sell it at a certain price which the merchant want to buy, or by doing trade. That's what I know.
Hmm.
What
I
about gambling or performing? You look fit. Dance. Perform.
uh, I will attempt to do a backflip.
I went to bed.
Oh yeah, I do a couple of backflips. And say, what? How's that? Is that would people give me gold for that?
If they
The
like.
boy looked at you. Unless you are a traveling circus, then yes, he said. But anybody here can do a backflip. And then after that, the boy also rolling for his acrobatic. He also did a backflip easily.
After doing,
Ta-da! He said.
oh, that's pretty cool. I say, oh, actually, and I go over to the water barrel. I stick my hand in it and turn my chi into ice in order to freeze it. And I pull out a chunk of ice for myself to start chewing on. And say, oh, you must also be hot. And I stick my other claw in to freeze another chunk of ice and hand it to him. Then it occurred to me, it's like, would people buy this? It just occurred to me, this land's hot. Where I come from, we have things like this as snacks all the time. Although normally they have flavor in it. Would people buy that?
Hmm. I'm not too sure, Aloin and looks to you. I've never seen this before, but we do have some certain traders coming from deep south selling chunks of this by the barrels.
Hmm. Well, I'm so strapped for ideas. Anyone else?
You could wait, until everybody's here. Then you can, take one coin from each, and that way you'll, get those little ones to help you.
Hmm.
Or, bribe them with food, not necessarily gold. I mean, have you
I guess.
tried to talk to them?
Oh yeah. I like click my fingers. It's like, yes. Maybe I I can sweeten them up with some food.
Mm-hmm.
I start digging for my thing and saying, oh, but I'm all out of those crunchy carrots. I wonder what else they have here that they would like.
Well, that's, that's a decision in the morning.
Hmm.
Until then,
I,
anybody want soup?
And he just like
Yeah, I'll have soup.
He pours one
yeah.
for you, and one for himself, and one for Waruay.
Meanwhile, Tyrson's in the back, just got his pillow over his head, trying to get some sleep, but all this talking in the background. Wait a minute, did Tyrson just steal the child's bed? Because it looks like there's only one bed in here.
The bed can Well, he can sleep together with the child. So the child is small enough. But he is the legal guardian. While
I
you
don't.
guys have to take out your sleeping bags and then lie on the floor.
I mean, at least it's better than paying an overpriced money for a flea infested hotel. I mean, I sit in here
Hey,
corner, and after I put the soup on the ground, I lay my sleeping bag behind me, and I just sit down and eat quietly.
well, I've lost a lot of health with that friggin' tiefling before, so can I use second wind? Second wind?
Second wind. No, you don't
Is
have
that what
to
it's
do
called?
second wind.
Yeah, I
The
lost a lot of
first-
health to that tiefling before.
Second wind is mostly used for combat, though, so there's no reason to use second wind while
Well,
resting, while you're taking a long rest. If you take a long rest, then roll for your hit dice 3 times. I don't think you guys are even injured.
We
Oh,
were
yeah.
actually
I was injured.
injured. We
I
were
lost
injured.
18 HP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
same.
injured from the tiefling's little burst of flame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His little burst of flame.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, I'm on the
But-
half.
yeah, so let's just roll for the hit die.
Yeah. Let's roll for your hit dice. If you take a long rest, all your hit dice, just roll for it.
Okay, so it's a 2d10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So 10. 10. So Durotan is level 3. Level 3, right? If you're level 3, then roll 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh, you can just
I did roll 3 times. I did roll.
Wait, why are you a d12? What?
Hit die D12 barbarian.
if
Wait,
you
how do
just
I know what hit dice I am?
if you just hit the hit dice
your-
button, it will automatically roll it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I have to roll one more time because I got 3 hit dice. Okay. One more
Yep.
d10.
I think for Durotan, I think it's fully healed. That's 6, 4, and 8. That's 18 HP.
Yeah.
I only got up to 26.
Yep, I'm actually
Out of
more
31.
than I'm more than healed up. I am more than healed. I got it's all thanks to the good food.
Yeah. The food that Aluin's cooking. Surprisingly, Aluin's a really good cook.
Do we regain our hit dice after a long rest?
Yeah, you're gonna get back hit dice after a long rest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't get back hit dice during short rest.
Oh, okay.
Hey, that's actually a nice one. That's a crit.
You lucky bastard.
I only needed 2.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Better to be.
Yeah, you guys are fully hit.
All right.
Should be fully healed.
I look around. What are the walls made of? Are they just stone, I guess, sandstone, or is it natural rock?
It's natural rock mixed with sandstorm, so it's quite tough also at the same time, but not that tough. If you can have a mace or a hammer, you'll probably break it.
Just by looking at, would it be stable enough if I say they dug a small tunnel in it?
If you dug a small tunnel underneath this,
Like in through one of the walls or something?
okay, you'll probably just make a hole at the wall, and you'll probably go straight to town.
Into the town. Oh, I have
Yes.
to roll underground.
Okay, if you roll underground, are you a burrower? Do you have the tools for it? The skills for it? How long will it take? To take days, but then again, you're probably gonna take a long time.
Oh, okay, so I'll just use my tent then. I was planning on making a sleeping hole. I thought we were one level underground where we were.
Oh no! You're not level underground. Don't let the map confuse you.
Yeah.
It's just that what's outside of town. So if I drag you outside of town now, you should be further south where Tyrson is staying.
Oh, okay.
So if your house, Tyrson's
I thought
house
they were
is
like
most likely
sort of sand hunts where they're most sort of built into the ground.
hmm
I thought that's why when we switch over to
Yeah, Tyrson's house is here. So if you duck it, you're probably going to be touching really tough, really hard ground.
I will, play my bedroll and go to sleep like the others.
Okay. Right, you go to sleep like the others, and then after that, the next day.
I will attempt to keep one eye open though. I will listen to the advice of those dragons.
I want to leave when everyone is asleep. I'm gonna tend to be resting. Then I want to leave to scour the night.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for clues how to contact the Brotherhood.
Do I happen to notice him? Because I wanted to try and stay alert because I was concerned about what those pseudo dragons telling me to sleep with one eye open.
Okay, Tyrson, roll for stealth, and then after that, the rest of you guys roll for perception. I think this one is more passive perception. If he's trying to stay alert, otherwise he's probably not rested yet. Okay, stealth 9. Okay, yeah. Waruay actually noticed you sneaking out throughout the night.
Do I notice he sees me?
If you do
you
notice Waruay do you notice Waruay noticing you? Okay,
do you notice me noticing you?
Then Waruay have to roll for his stealth against your perception.
All right. Oh no! Not one. Not one.
I think Tyrson noticed you noticing him. Easily.
When he looks at me, and I look at him.
All right. Okay, Tyrson. While you're trying to sneak out through the night, Waruay notices you while you're trying to sneak out. But then you notice that Waruay knows, and Waruay actually saw you going out through the door. But before you even go out from the main door, so how are you gonna roleplay this, both of you? It's nighttime. I think I should start making two different maps going from here on. One at night, one in the daytime.
Well, I don't know if he knows that I know. If he wants to let me know that he knows
that's this awkward
that
situation now. It's you're just staying still. Waruay notice you. You notice Waruay, and so on.
I'm gonna put my finger. I'm gonna put my finger on my lips, saying, "Okay," and walk out.
All I can think that he's going out to try and steal the signet ring by himself. So I'm gonna try and sneak behind him to make sure he doesn't get into trouble.
I saw. Tyrson, your character is already near. Yeah. You moved him. Never mind.
Yeah, I will try and say stealth and make sure he doesn't get into any trouble.
Mm-hmm.
A 12 on that. Oh, where is everyone on the map?
I'll just keep pinging to where my character. I just put him near the house to symbolize he's in the house. But yeah.
Oh.
So am I.
I can't see me.
Only Tyrson. I believe only Tyrson is here, but I believe Rhin'zey and Durotan are inside the house.
Ah, here I am.
Sleeping.
Yep, exactly.
Whoa! Oh, good lord.
I hear cricket sound. That's the sound effect, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sound effect. Don't worry, no
Okay,
cricket has snuck in since you said it's nighttime.
Okay, Waruay and Tyrson, it's nighttime now. Let's assume there's not even a single person walking the street right now. The merchants are sleeping. Most of the merchants are sleeping. It's really quiet. It's a really quiet town. The only people that you see guarding the town are just the normal simple guards, like these guys. So if you see these figures here and here, these are the guards walking around. Yes, as long as you're not within the vicinity of them, within 60 feet, then your stealth, then you don't have to roll for stealth.
Okay. If I was an organization, I would be in a temple or
Who goes there?
or.
Win.
Where I would be.
Sorry, I step out
yeah.
there for a second. I started healing. I'm back now.
Okay, all right. Tyrson, Waruay. Okay, Tyrson, first to action, then to Waruay. Rhin'zey and Durotan are sleeping and resting now.
So, I'm going to approach one of them, like this one here. Do you know the Brotherhood?
The guard looks at you. It is late, citizen. Go back to your home and rest.
I am rest enough. I'm a wood elf.
Do I look like I care whether you're a wood elf or you're a dwarf? Go back to your place. Otherwise, I'm going to look at you suspiciously and think that you're trying to steal something in the town.
Okay, I'll go back. What a rough crowd.
All citizens are to return back home and rest throughout the night. If you are to catch any citizen walking throughout the night, you will be captured and put into jail immediately.
By returning, I see Waruay like, you're back.
I would be still trying, because I would be curious to see what you do. So
Okay.
I would be hidden there. And when you start to walk back, I will sneak back down. I don't know if you see me, so I don't know if you'll know, but I know that you know.
It's still going to be a
I know
stealth
that you know,
check
but I
anyway.
know.
So Tyrson still have to roll against your 12.
Alright.
If his passive perception is 12 or higher, he notices you.
And the jigsaw. Yeah.
Yeah, easily. It's really difficult to not see a white, silverish cobalt. Okay, in town.
A beacon.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to get like a dark cloak or something.
Yeah, cloak of stealth, really good.
It needs more snow in this place. If there was snow, you wouldn't be able to
With
find
snow, you have advantage on your stealth.
natural camouflage.
Yes,
Alright,
natural camouflage.
I'm gonna go this way.
Okay, Tyrson, what are you gonna say to Waruay? You notice Waruay actually trying to hide from you, but of course it's gonna be quite difficult for Waruay to hide from your gaze because Waruay is like a beacon to your eyesight.
I'm gonna sneak up because it was 22. Is a yes, sleeping now.
Oh, now do I notice him trying to sneak up on me? Yes, I do. We're both horrible.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I'll ask you. What are you trying? Are you going to try and steal the signet ring? The
I want
thing
to
for everything?
find who has it and see if I can acquire it off them or make a deal. Because it's a little bit hard to find someone who knows the Brotherhood.
Oh, and I say, well,
You don't find the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood finds you.
wait, do we hear that or?
Was that?
As I was about to speak to it, is that what we both hear?
That's the win.
Oh, okay. I turn around and say, well, the two pseudo dragons I was talking to, they, I was talking about maybe hatching a plan with them to steal the signet ring, but they seem to know who has it and where. But I think they're asking for 10 gold before they would help me. That's why I
Well,
just need the gold. Well,
how
you
much
could
gold do you
come
have?
talk. I have, well, with the gold from the others, I have 9.
Okay.
You could come and talk
Yeah.
tomorrow with them. They might help me, help
Yeah.
us.
Fair
But-
enough. Fair enough. I'll meet you in.
It was
And-
the tavern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I go back into the hovel, and I look back and say, "Are you good?"
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll be.
And it's like, don't go for a walk now or anything.
I won't. I just want to breathe in the night air.
I look around and see all the crickets, and say, "Okay then," and I will go back down and leave him be.
Okay.
Wow.
This is Tyrson's house. To go back to the tavern is quite a distance away at night, even at night. So this is the address shop. So in order for you to sneak, if you want
I'll
to
go
sneak
back
to the
into the
tavern,
house.
it's going to be quite a difficult task. Might be difficult, might not be difficult. It depends.
Oh, I want to snake to the tavern. Yes.
Yeah, the tavern is not here where you are. Your house is further to the south. Okay?
Yeah, it's further north.
Yes, the
Do you want me to
tavern.
come with you to the tavern and introduce you, or you good?
And at
I'm
night,
good.
Okay.
if you're caught, either you have to pay the fine. If you can't pay the fine, you'll be put into jail. Even worse.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Hope the fine's not too heavy. I'm pretty much gonna climb up, jump to that.
Okay, if you're gonna jump, roll for acrobatic.
Yeah. I love my fail this.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yep, you managed to jump to the side of the building.
Oh, you're gonna try and jump on the statue.
I want to.
Measuring the sight distance if they notice Pearson against his stealth.
I just want to measure how far is this.
That's the fourth tool. Then when you go into it, it's the. Are we not measuring from the center? Are we measuring from the side? Oh wait, there are no hexes here, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. I want to
Next section, last section, Tyrson will do. Then to
climb
Warwick.
on top of this.
Okay, you climb on top. Roll for stealth. Advantage. Okay, you're hidden. Against their passive. I'm just using their passive. And they're actively searching. Okay, Waruay, your turn.
Oh, I was going to go in, but I suppose now you give me the option. My curiosity has gotten the better of me. I'm going to try and stealth behind him.
The tavern is near the fountains, you know. It's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's going to see those pseudo dragons, then I'm thinking maybe a good time might be in the middle of the night. Although that also might just piss him off because they're dragons. And one thing you do not do with a dragon is disturb its sleep.
A heads up, just a heads up. If you guys get caught and you're gonna spend the night in jail, don't call the rest of us because we'll just pretend we don't know you.
Thinking on it and realizing it, I'm just going to stay back here and just watch to see what happens until I can no longer see Tyrson. Then I'll
Okay.
go back in.
Okay, Tyrson, 2 actions for you. Remember, there are guards patrolling the place.
Okay, I want to jump on top of the tree.
Okay? Roll for acrobatics.
Yeah.  18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. Oh Jesus!
You jump. You try to grab the palm tree while you jump in mid-air. You grab it. You misstep. You fell on the ground. And then, okay, this tree is about more than 10 feet, but not 20 feet. Roll, okay, falling distance here, it's like 10, it's 1d10 damage when you fall every 10 feet. It's not 1d6, it's 1d10. Roll 1d10
1d10.
damage for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, 2. You're on the floor, on the ground. The moment that happened, the guards came to you immediately and said, "Hold! We have spears on you.
I'm just gonna act
We have
drunk.
a thief here. And what do you have to say for yourself? It's late at night. Citizens should stay back in their homes."
I was going home.
Okay,
Oh,
roll for persuasion since there's no more deception, I think, in this one.
Oh, Jesus.
They look at you. Okay, rolling for your persuasion. What are your deception persuasion? Okay, so then they said, "You are drunk and then you try to sneak through the night, heading towards the tavern, eh? Now, you will think about this once we bring you to jail." And then after that, they bring you. Another guard appeared, and then all three of them actually bring you to the nearest jail, which surprisingly is a person that you met earlier on, which is, of course, now you are no longer here at your home, you are now here.
I'm gonna find where I am. Yep.
And you see the Tabaxi Sigru and said,
oh, there.
"You will spend here the night, my friend, for you to sober up and trying to sneak your way into the tavern. The rule is law. The Brotherhood have put the laws that nobody is to walk late at night, to look very suspicious, of course, which have bring a hefty fine. The fine itself is going to cost you just to get out from here, of course.
Foxy,
I thought
I am
I
not
thought you were
drunk.
a nice man. I thought you were a nice man, Tyrson. Somehow you just got the custody of your son. What would your son think about you to see that you're already going to jail?"
Foxy, I was actually looking for you.
Oh
Oh,
no, you're not going to hit on him now. Are you?
So, you're the best chance to pass a message to the Brotherhood. Now you know where I am. I'll wait for them.
and what is this message that you want to give to the Brotherhood?
Please do not waste my time with petty Brotherhood fairy stories. Just pass on. I am here, and I'm waiting. Time is ticking.
I will try to relay your message to the Brotherhood. If they are
Thank.
willing to look for me, of course. The Brotherhood don't simply contact you or myself if they see that you are not worthy enough of their time.
Well, I should be worthy enough. I sober up the current Lord Mayor. By the way, who's in charge? Who has his signet ring?
Huh? The man looks surprised. Signet ring? I do not understand what you're trying to say here. Tyrson.
Can I insight?
Okay, roll for insight. Okay, you look at the Tabaxi, you look at Sigru. You notice that he's actually unsure of what you're actually trying to tell him. Signet ring? He doesn't know.
Okay. Well, I have told you my message. Me and this lovely torso. Well, I forget I remember the name of it. This lovely gentleman can make me company. Again, time is ticking.
But you stay here, Tyrson. Time is ticking for yourself until your friends pay the fine to release you. It's late now. Good night, Tyrson, and hopefully your son do not follow in your footsteps. I would hate to see young Alurin to become a drunkard like you, or a thief, perhaps.
I am no thief. Tabaxi.
That's what they all say. Tyssigro walks away, and after that, he let his bodyguard looks after you, bovine throughout the night. And then, now, okay, while Durotan and Rhin'zey is sleeping, Waruay, you notice that Tyrson has been captured by the authority. What do you want to do? Do you want to join him in cell, or try to attempt to go to the tavern by yourself?
I
Only
actually,
you know that Tyrson has been captured. Durotan and Rhin'zey doesn't know, so you may have to tell them if you're still
Yeah.
around. If you're captured and put into the same cell, then Durotan and Rhin'zey have no idea what happened to both of you.
yeah, because currently I'm just on the roof, so I'm gonna pop down the steps and
Okay.
get back in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go to Durotan and go up to him, and like a child would trying to wake up like their father, I would like lean over him and slowly start giving him nudges and say, Durotan, Durotan, Durotan.
No more goat soup. You're gonna have to be a little bit aggressive.
I sort of slowly start to increasing how much I'm trying to shake him. Up until the point where he's still not listening, so I'll just give him a little bit of static shock, just to nudge him awake a little bit.
I'm awake. What is it? Is it time yet for war? Am I king yet?
Tyrson snuck out. I saw him sneak out. He saw me seeing him, and I saw him sneak off, and he saw me sneaking off, and I saw him sneak. I sort of ramble on a bit, but I say, and now Tyrson's in jail.
Oh, okay. Tyrson is in jail. We'll talk in the morning then. Trust me, he barely heard it and he's like, oh, Tyrson in jail? Okay, we'll talk in the morning.
Tyrson in jail, good for him. Go back to sleep.
Yeah, nothing surprises him, basically. He's like, he's like in between the I'm awake but I'm 90%, sleep. So he's like, oh, Tyrson is in jail? Oh, okay, good. We'll talk in the morning then.
I'm like,
okay, what are we? What are you gonna do?
I don't want to be arrested either, and even if I try and sneak in, basically get him out of jail, then he would just be a wanted criminal. So I think I'll just wait in the morning. Although, seeing a nice, comfortable spot at the end of the bed, I'm going to curl up like a dog and sleep on the end of the bed now, but it's mostly clear. On a nice, comfortable, soft mattress.
All right. Easily done.
I'm gonna fall asleep and make the tabaxi and the ball and most of the guards with creepy nightmares and stuff. I want them to like do a wisdom save.
Oh, you're not happy at all,
No. I was like, bring the pain.
You're an angry drunk.
Yeah, I'm an angry drunk.
Okay. The Minotaur just looks at you. The Minotaur does not sleep. Just looks at you and stares at you. That's about it. Throughout the whole night, until the next day morning. Alright. Durotan, you woke up in the morning, fully rested. You're not too sure whether you actually had a dream that Waruay tried to wake you up, telling you that Tyrson's in jail, whether you responded back to him. But when you woke up in the morning, you see Waruay or sleeping on the bed next to young Alwyn. And you see Rhin'zey is still sleeping soundly on the floor, not far from you. You see the stool is still warm at the kitchen area, and you see the tables with most of the food is still being prepared, most of them just leftovers. So, Rosan, what do you want to do? You don't see Tyrson anyway. Maybe he just woke up and have a morning walk at the beach or something, or at the marketplace. Well, you can hear the people. You hear most of the people at the marketplace already preparing or opening their booth and opening their wares, and then you can hear the carts. It's like being rolled over. You can hear the sounds of camels coming over, and many more. What do you want to do, Rosan?
Basically, after stretching himself and everything, and he walks over to make some simple breakfast from yesterday's leftovers. And he's like, as he, he's like, just like you said, he thinks Tyrson is outside since he doesn't see him or his swords, or he's like, oh, okay, so he must be went outside very early, excited to do some good.
You probably will see my swords and stuff, equipment inside. I didn't take them with me, so.
Oh, okay. After he finished eating, he just go and gently wakes up Rhin'zey by taking a good old-fashioned straw of hay and next to his nose. And he's like, Kitty, wake up. Kitty, wake up.
I literally had my eyes closed, like, what? Oh my god, the light's in my eye! What?
Good morning to you, Kitty, and rise and shine. It's a new day.
Oh my gosh, what time is it?
Close to, I don't know, early in the morning? Maybe after 8 or something?
Too early, I'm going back to sleep. Good night.
Excuse me. We gotta go and look for Tyrson. He's gone since early morning.
Do you not know about lions and nocturnal animals? Alright, oh my god, alright, give me 5 minutes, let me just stretch,
Yeah, stretch like a cat.
Thing about leaving.
Alright, let's go.
Don't you want to eat breakfast? I mean, I just finished eating. And he just his burp is so loud that it's enough to, wakes. It should be enough to wake Waruay and the little boy.
Yes, the little boy woke up the moment you woke up, and Rhin'zey woke up. Well, Alwyn looks around and said, Where's Tyrson?
I think he went out since early morning, which is why me and Kitty, once he finishes eating his breakfast, will go and look for him.
I look to Durotan and then say really loudly, and I go, oh, and I give a big noticeable wink to him.
He's like, ... Did something happen yesterday?
And yeah, I'm like, no, nothing happened. Everything's alright. And I turn to, and it's like, everything's alright. We will go get Tyrson now. Yeah, like Tyrson said, he just went out for a walk. We'll go get him.
Okay.
And I walk up to the others, and as I walk past the Durotan and say, oh, good idea. Best not to let him know.
I did. Let's talk outside. I feel there is something you wish to say, but you're not gonna say it with the boy here. He just takes his sword and waits for everybody outside.
Now
I grab my warhammer and I walk out with him as well.
Okay. You grab your weapons, and after you prepare your gear, and then decide to go out. You see the people, the markets of the sun up in the sky. You can feel the breeze from the ocean, and you see the people at the market just easy tending to what they do every single day. But when you look around, you don't see Tyrson anywhere. So you're unsure where is Tyrson, except for Waruay, of course.
So, where did Tyrson went in this early hour in the morning?
I tilt my head to the side, confused, and say, "Well, he still would be in jail, wouldn't he? I mean,
In
Yeah,
jail? What the hell did you do? I mean, last time I left, he was on the bed. How did he teleported from the bed to jail?
and I like scratch my head. It's like I told you last night. I woke you up and told you everything happened, and you said you would just we'll deal with it in the morning.
Me?
I
Told me?
Yeah.
He's like trying to think there is a weird dream where you appeared as a soldier that says Tyrson is in jail and him dreaming being a king. He's like, oh, okay, we'll deal with it later. And he's like, I thought it's a dream, and you were in it.
Yeah, but I like do a rehash. It's like, well, he tried to sneak out. I saw him trying to sneak out, but then I think he saw him sneaking out. But I run off in a tangent again with he knew I knew type thing until up to the point where Tepes tried to jump on the tree, but then he fell and I think hit his head. Because then he started acting all stupid. Then the guards arrested him. I think they arrested him because they took him off because he kept talking about wanting to see the Brotherhood. And I say, well, come to think that maybe the Brotherhood has him. I don't know. Because he kept saying he wanted to see the Brotherhood. And he was talking to those guards before he hit his head.
Why am I not surprised? Let's...
Well, you know where Segru, where the jail is anyway. It's further to the north near the main gates, near the fountains.
Well, let's go and see what we can do to bail him. Honestly, I sleep for one good night and this what happens in the morning. Well, Waruay, lead the way to jail.
And I say, well, it could have been worse. He wanted to go wake up the sleeping pseudo dragons, and you never wake up a dragon. You never disturb a dragon's beauty sleep. I said it as we're talking.
Until the morning.
Well, by the sounds of it, he really wanted to see the Brotherhood. I'm just nonchalantly talking to him through the street, so people could probably hear us talking about him looking for the Brotherhood.
Honestly,
Yes.
I get one good night of sleep without paying a single coin for it, and this is my just reward.
I mean, I understand, ever since I came here, it's like everything's just been hot and sticky, and the sand, oh my god, the sand in every single piece of scale, constantly digging it out. It's like, I don't understand how you can all handle the sand. And I just keep raving on about the sand the rest of
the only
I don't like sand.
The only Brotherhood he's going to be seeing is my fist down his throat. There's 5 brothers on my fist. The little one, and you see him does the whole fingers labeling them as the little brother, the middle brother, the big brother, the big brother, and finally the midget brother.
When we get up to the fountain, I say, I will go up and create another 2 chunks of icicles, and I will hand him one as I gnaw on the upper as we keep walking.
The both of you actually head straight towards the jail cell, or where they actually kept Tyrson. And you actually walk in. Nobody actually walk in. You can see the Tabaxi Sigru looking at all of you with his pipe and said, good morning to you all, kind sirs. You must be here for your good friend, Tyrson.
It would have been a good morning if he wasn't here in the first place. But between you and me, good friend, I would rather he spend another day in here just to learn never to go out at night. But
Ah,
what can you do? Idiots will be idiots.
if you don't want to release him, of course, you can sign here. He puts a book right in front of you, Durotan, and say that you are willing to sell Tyrson as a slave, working to the south in the human empire, and of course you will be paid handsomely for it.
Unfortunately, my conscience will never forgive me as much as it's a tempting offer. He got a son now. I mean, he has to, man up. Let's just face
Ah,
it. Let's just
but
face
the
it.
rule here also states that if the guardian meet an early demise or unable to care for its children, it will be passed on to the next legal guardian, which is of course yourself.
As much as I want to, but
Durotan was like stunned for a few seconds.
Yeah, he's like,
Alright, so
he's like definitely thinking, and he's like,
as much as
Yeah,
it's tempting, but it's no. How much is the fine to get him out?
oh, the fine to get him out is only 5 gold pieces, of course.
Oh, peace. Can I talk to him first before I bail him out?
Yeah, sure. It is downstairs at the cell. Bovine is looking after him.
and of course he he walks in and he just stand in front of Tyson's jail, arms crossed, and tapping the floor, not saying anything.
Okay, alright. Okay, Tyrson. Okay, gonna be going from right to left, Waruay. You can roleplay, one roleplay action until
I am. So it's like that must have really hurt. It's like, how badly did you hit your head? Because you weren't talking properly when you got back up. Tyrson?
Tyrson.
Oh yeah. I'm okay. I just wanted to send a message to someone.
It's like, oh, you mean the Brotherhood?
Yep, the Brotherhood.
Oh, like, I scratch my head. It's like, they kind of already knew we were here.
But many people don't know what the Brotherhood has done here.
And you know what? I'm not gonna spend money to bail you out. Hand them over.
I'll pay you back. I'm good for it.
How do I
Oh,
know you
his-
don't? You know. Your
Tyrson's
weakness-
belongings are not with him.
Oh,
The only
okay.
thing that Tyrson have is just his clothes.
Mhm.
Everything else has been taken away and put securely at the chest where Sigru is.
Oh, okay.
You better be. And also, what were you thinking?
And he just yells at you face to face enough to like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, enough to push you all the way to the wall of the cell in the back.
I want to play along, and I'm like really scared. More for your health than anything else.
Honestly, people don't think. I'm like, what, 23? No, wait, I'm 25 and yet I'm screaming like if I'm a 50-year-old warrior veteran.
And you just see him walk back and pays the fine, but as he walks away, non-stop complaining about you, and you just made him age like 10 or 12 years straight just with this idiotic behavior.
Yet tomorrow morning you find like a grey hair.
I want to roleplay as well. I have so much to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Tyrson, If I were you, I'd stay in there. Because the second you come out, you will be bitch slapped like there's no tomorrow.
If you guys touch me, I will hug you.
Oh shit.
Maybe kiss you.
Oh no. Oh no.
I turn to Rhin'zey and I say, maybe that hit on the head did more damage than we thought. Maybe we should have a healer look at him.
Maybe I should just hit him on the head with something and then give him a concussion so he can stay there. At least I won't lose any IQ points that way, or any brain cells after hanging out with him at least for more than 2 seconds.
I say, well, back in the cave, there was this one kobold who egged cracks before he was hatched. And when I was hatched, he sort of talked like Tyrson. And it's like, I suppose we could still have use for him. Back in the cave, he still was of use. So maybe, even though Tyrson isn't Tyrson anymore, maybe he can still do stuff. Although, perhaps we should tell Tetra what's happened. Because Tetra isn't mates anymore. And I think it's
I pretty much hold I just like, hold my heart. I was like, please don't tell Tetra. Oh no, please no. No.
And I said, well, we have to tell Tetra so she can come and look after the boy while he stays here.
Please.
Seeing you grovel and seeing that Durotan sort of shouted you down, I now see Durotan as the far superior. As the highest structure. You have now been demoted. As like clan structure goes. Yeah, I think my best bet would be to go find Tetra to let her know what's happened, so she can take care of boy.
Okay. Am I out of jail?
Before I leave, I'm gonna say, get well soon. And I walk off.
Okay, Durotan, while Waruay and Rhin'zey was busy talking to Tyrson, you went up and then you paid the fine to Segru. Segru took it, asked you to sign a few documents and said that you paid the fine and then to sign. You have never signed before, so you took the quill pen and you just simply, what do you write? A D, a simple D.
Yeah, exactly. And a simple D, and he color his thumb and he stump the D itself with his fingerprint. And as he, count the money, you can see like a little bit of tearing and sobbing because the amount is a bit too much for one idiotic behavior. And he's like,
when you pay, you think to yourself, this is a lot of food. 5 gold pieces is a lot of food.
Exactly. He's like, the food, accommodation, a better armor, a better sword. And as they are 5 coins, and he's, when the tabaxi is holding them, he's not letting go. And he's like, I wish to let go, but I can't. I don't want to let go. But eventually
When you
he lets go.
When you signed, Segru whispered to you when you were busy signing, he said, if you were to sell Tyrson to the humans of the south, he would be fetching a mighty fine money. He have very nice fair complexion. The men of the south love men like him. Smooth skin, white. You can imagine how much people from there would be willing to pay for somebody like him. Let me tell you, he would be easily catch a mighty fine of 55 gold piece easy in the slave market.
As much as I want to sell
Think
him.
about it, Durotan. Think about it. Good business, eh? You can make friends easy. He's just one person. Tell your friends. Maybe they would reconsider. And that's when the moment you see Waruay got up from the staircase, and Waruay, you notice that Durotan already paid for Tyrson's release.
Alright. I say, did you have enough? And I like go to pull my clients out, and I say, I still have only 9 coins. If
Oh no,
you need it.
I had enough. He will pay 7 coins to me. I'll take 5 and you take the other 2.
Oh, okay. Then I'll have enough coins to give to those dragons. Perhaps they'll help us then.
You never dealt with Buddy before. Have you tried, the ancient art of negotiation? Usually us orcs, we arm wrestle for it.
And I say, well, normally Recowards don't really have gold because we give everything to our dragon. We only really keep what's necessary.
Child,
And I look at the coin and say,
child,
this is more than...
You've been shielded from the world, child. You definitely have been shielded from the world. The biggest example is to learn about not to waste money, is to, never do an idiotic behavior that could land you in jail. I mean, I just paid 5 coins. I could have spent a night in these things, in the finest establishment, with a couple of wenches and enough food to fill a belly, for 2 months. Instead, they all went down for someone who thought he could go at night. One last round of drinks. Ugh. What a waste.
I'm like nodding and just soaking everything you say up. After seeing what happened earlier with Tyrson, it's like I clearly see you as the alpha dominant of the group, the most powerful one.
Oh.
So as a draconic creature, I see you as the powerful one of the group to follow.
Well, between you and me, I am strong, and he flexes his muscle. But sadly, I'll admit, I have no brain. And I'm easily persuaded by food. I mean, if you wish to bribe me with food or gold, and I'm all yours.
Well, and I say, well, I need the gold for the dragons, but you're saying that's probably a bad idea. I should bargain with them.
No, take the gold, then bargain with them. I would say before you go to them, take a tour, take a walk in the market and see how people bargain for things, how they try to lower the price as much as they could so they can buy to their satisfaction. They don't just, pay up just because someone says pay up. Unless you are filthy rich like a king.
And I say, oh, that's a good idea. I was going to go tell Tetra so she can help take care of Tyson's son, but she's a merchant. Maybe I should ask her for advice.
Exactly. And tell her about that useless... What did she call her? Her mate? Just tell her mate Tyrson has spent the night in jail and explain everything.
Yes. I'll say, will do.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're trying to say something else to me, then I will go off.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
Yeah, I will, take away and go find Tetra.
Tabaxi, you're back. Did you sleep
Waruay,
well?
and then Durotan after speaking, then Waruay actually went out to look for Petra. Durotan, how about you? Do you go out to follow Waruay to look for Petra, or do you go down to see Segru releasing Tyrson? Oh, yeah, he's out. Sorry. Alright, Tyrson, you see Segru actually go down, and then after that took the keys and then release you from your cell. And then after that, Segru then tell you, once you're here, Tyrson, you have to follow the laws given and put to us by the Brotherhood. Since that House Valorant is no longer under the rules here, we have to follow their rules now. It's just as they heal the seal. Do not walk late at night. For every time the market closes, people like you and me, well, people like you, of course, me and Bobai, we stay here. This is our place. This is the night. We get money from people like yourself. We put into the jail. They come, they pay, they go. If they couldn't pay, of course, do you know what happens to those that could not pay, Joseph?
Normally, you have two options: be eaten or be sold.
No, not Ethan. We are not cannibals here. We don't eat people like yourself. Those people
fair.
will be sold as slaves, of course, for those that can afford them. And they will be working for their new lord until they can actually pay for the fine, or until the lord decided to let them go. Either way. But people like yourself, people like your fair complexion, of course, and your nice fair skin, you would fare nice pay. Lucky for you, Durotan paid for your fines. You are now free to go.
Thank you, Tabaxi. By the way, did you sleep well last night?
Of course. But what is sleep? Bovine here does not sleep. I do not sleep. Well, I do sleep, but I sleep in the daytime. I don't sleep at night.
Good to know.
Yes. You are free to go, Tyrson, and please do not show this type of attitude to your son, eh?
Agree. A good role model shows good taste, good law thing. Yeah. So how much
Okay.
was the fine? No. Durotan?
Durotan paid for it.
Oh.
Yep.
7.
7?
7 coins. Pay
You got-
them up.
Tabaxi, was it 7?
Warwick was here with me, but yeah, just pay 7 coins and be done with it. I don't have all day.
Well, I can only pay you 4.
Are you trying to haggle now? Just pay the 7 coins and be done with it.
Hey! Sense motive. He's too keen.
Hey, you do know you're worth a lot more, you know. If I were to have sold you out.
Okay, inside. Okay. Well, inside, Durotan don't even have to inside against his deception.
Oh.
Okay, Durotan.
Okay, yeah, I have to roll deception for this one. Here we are. Deception, and it has a 0 in it. Oh, okay, good. It's understandable it has a 0, but at least I managed to roll a flat one.
It's a nice, good roll, though. Like any other time, that would have been a fantastic roll.
Yes.
Nice try, my friends. But honesty pays a lot. I pay him the 5 and 1 copper.
He just like takes the coin and puts it in his pouch and say,
Let's go, Rhin'zey.
we have...
And by the way, if you decide to sell me, you know how much I really worth. I always can pay.
Unfortunately, it wasn't worth it. 4 copper coins for you? I could have bought some groceries with that one. Maybe a silver coin I'll consider selling you, but still, too low. Too low for my taste.
So I gave you 5 gold and 1 copper.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
So, let's head in the market and see what we need to bring for lunch. Unless you want to convince more merchant to come and accompany us in our caravan 4 days from now.
I would like to see my mistress, Tetra.
I was about to say which one.
Well, I'm let's go and give her the good news that you're out of jail.
Unfortunately, I went ahead of you to tell her, so this is going to be interesting when you show up.
Drag your character near her.
Where is she?
At her stall.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do the same thing again when I go past the fountain. I will make some ice for myself and start chewing it when I walk up to Tetra.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, you see Petra and Alwyn at the cart buying some stuff like simple trinkets or looking into it, and then you see Petra talking to Alezander, saying that this would look good when you bring this to Val. She said. So we have another 3 more days, and let's get ourselves prepared. Petra said to the merchant, and after that she noticed that you were coming to her, Durotan, Waruay, and then also Tyrson. And then Petra then turns to you, Waruay, and she said, "Ah, Waruay, you're here as usual. How was your day?" She asks.
And say, alright, I was like, I had some ice earlier, spoke to Durotan, and I think we freed your bondmate from jail as well. It's like he hit his head last night when he was sneaking around, and they arrested him. So I guess that was an interesting night as well. And I'm just casually chewing on ice, saying all this. And say, oh,
And,
but it's okay that we made sure that, and I look to Farland, and I say, yeah, and we made sure Farland was safe while Tyrson was in jail. And I say, so the good news, I think he arranged contact with the Brotherhood. Well, I think he did because he invited them over, so I guess they will be coming over soon.
Petra returns. Tyrson went to jail. Trying to sneak at night. And after that, then she looks at Tyrson and said, where are you sneaking off to? Trying to make others, I believe?
And when she says that, it's like, oh yeah, that pretty looking captain at the bar. It's like, yeah, because you were trying to go to the bar to speak to the dragons, and that pretty lady you were flirting with was there, wasn't she?
you
And I'm
mean
just
the
chewing on my ice catcher.
the pretty captain, single lady, with her ship.
Oh yeah, and so that's right. She's going to help us as well. Her and Tyrson made a deal that something about her being stuck, and he was going to help get her out or something. And I'm just sort of phasing off because the conversation's a bit boring. I'm eating ice and saying, "Oh wait, would you also be willing to teach me how to?" And I look to Durotan and say, "Haggle, right? It's haggle, haggling." Yeah, and I say, "Yes, that."
Petra then looks. Oh, Tyrson talking to that young captain. Ah, you don't have to worry so. You don't have to worry so much. I know her well, and Tyrson is not her type.
Oh, okay. I mean, he seems to be, he even, hugged her straight away without any permission.
Nah, you don't have to worry about her. I've known her well, and I can tell you, and I can assure you one thing, that her rapier swings differently. In a different way, of course.
Oh, okay. So, what do you have for sale? I mean, not for us, but to teach Waruay, since he's apparently heavily shielded and doesn't know his way around the money.
Well, you don't see Elephant here. Elephant's going to be following us back to Val. She said, if you want to buy stuff, try the other merchants near the docks.
Are you able to teach him how to haggle for things and items, and not just, pay the face value price?
It will probably take some time, and we don't have much time. We only have 3 days left. Perhaps once I have more time, then perhaps Waruay can sit down with me and I can teach him a way or two on how to handle. Perhaps.
Hmm.
I say, well, and I say, look at Tyrson. It's like, well, what are we going to do then about the pseudo dragons? I mean, I can try, but I've never really haggled. I was always brought up that you give dragons what they want.
No, you haggle. In the real world, you have to haggle. Otherwise, people will just take you for granted. And they'll be able to con you.
I'm just like nodding profusely. It's like, yes.
So, what do we do?
Well, I mentioned Tyrson wants to speak to Tetra right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just back away a little bit, giving Tyrson some space to talk while just, looking at the market and the people and the movement.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you want to go from here, Tyrson and Waruay, stay here at Petra or walk around town again, some way.
Wait, leave? Tyrson?
Is he away? Is he away?
Tyrson?
Tyrson?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My thing was on mute. Up to you guys. I would like to probably teach Waruay to haggle properly. If Tetra doesn't want to do it.
I say, are you okay though? You hit your head pretty hard when you fell out of that tree last night.
I'm fine.
And you were acting strangely before.
What do you mean?
So, talking about hugging everyone.
No, not everyone. It's de-escalation of a threat.
Well,
Because that fluffy lion likes to hit things. And if he hit me, it will be things won't turn out the way it should have been. But that's why I decided to defuse the situation before it started. Conquer the conversation before it happens.
and I say, like what a dragon does.
Yes.
And like, And I say, well, we need to get this seal thing right. And the Brotherhood has it. And I'm sort of talking to everyone here and say, well, when I was talking to the dragons in the bar, they seem to know where it is. But they wanted some coins first. We could talk to them and maybe you could try and convince them to tell us where it is. Because they wanted gold, but it's like what Durotan says, which is true. Have to learn to negotiate with dragons.
Yep, that's alright. I'll talk to him for you.
And
Worst case scenario, I'll help you pay for it.
And once we have the seal, when I turn to Tetra and that and say, then the ship captain said that she will take us all back to Tyrson's town free of charge. But we need to get the seal so we can give to the mayor, so we can lift the ban, so she can take us all.
Okay, let's go to the tavern and talk to those dragons.
Okay, the tavern is not really far from where you are. The tavern is just here.
Alright.
I am.
Okay, just bring yourself here.
FYI, I think every time I pass this fountain now, I'm just going to create a couple of ice chunks and nibble on it whenever I walk past.
Okay, alright, easily done.
I don't know if that will cause issues, but I think it's something fun to do. And I will give the others a chunk of ice as well. I don't know if they will eat it or not, but yeah.
Yeah, but you actually offered them the chunk of ice before actually entering the tavern. The moment you actually enter the tavern, you still see the captain, known as Cordelia, sitting down, sipping her tea, while you can still see Xanathar, apparently, no longer drunk, but drinking water. And then, when you all entered, then he saw you first, Durotan entered, then Xanathar asked you, "So, have you found it? Have you found any clues to my wife and daughter at the coast, further to the east of here? Do you find anything?"
Juan, calm down. We haven't even started. But we have an idea that your seal is with the Brotherhood, and yeah, just
Yes, I know.
yeah, we're
I
working on it.
gave the seal to him when he assured me that he will look after things that he promised.
We're
Do
currently
you have a
working.
name?
Yeah, exactly. Do you have a name or anything?
No, he never mentioned his name. Everybody referred him as the Brotherhood. He is the Brotherhood.
I go where the pseudo dragons are.
Okay, Tyrson, you go to the Tree of Dragons. You see the two of them looking at you. Then the one on the left start talking. Hey, it's this guy again. Yeah, what do you want? Don't you think that we're busy?
So I heard you can get something for us, but you need a bit of shiny, right? But
Well,
how about this? Would you be interested in playing a card game? If I win, we'll give you 5 gold pieces.
Wait,
If we
you
lose,
win.
if we lose, we'll give you 10 gold pieces, and you do the job for us.
a card game? Do you think
Yeah.
that we have thumbs to play a card game?
Hey, I met all sort of wild animals. Look at my friend here. He's a dragon. He has thumbs. You can pair
Wait,
up. How about that?
Are you dumb or are you stupid? He is obviously a kobold. We are walking on our 4 legs, and while he's walking on 2. Open up your eyes wide and look properly. Otherwise, whatever game you're trying to pull, we won't play by it. Unless, of course, we can walk on our 2 legs and are able to hold something on our hands, then we can proceed to talk about it. But since you're referring to us as kobolds, which we apparently are not, you are perhaps looking at us as fools, which we are not, of course. My
That-
brother here obviously is stupid, but I'm not. Who are you calling stupid? That's what Drago said. You're the dumb one. You were born first. Then they start like looking at you.
How about this? We pay 5 now and 5 on the job when it's done.
And then the Drago turns to look at Durotan. You look like the smart one here. A bit bold, of course. I hope that your muscles is not at your brain, but your brain is where it is. What do you suggest, Orc?
You wanted 10? How about we'll give you basically what he said. 5 now, and the other 5 when you tell us exactly where the seal is and who has it and where we can find him. And in return, I will let you have some free dinner for tonight.
You see, the Dragon said, you take us for a fool. 5 now, 5 later. I've heard the stories many times before. None have come and fulfilled their words. Okay, one of you guys roll for persuasion, then the other 2 also roll for persuasion. with disadvantage, all three.
Oh, okay.
I want to do assist Durotan and say that to the dragons to say, well, what if I give my word?
6 as a fail. Okay,
6.
alright.
One
Okay,
moment.
then you also roll for persuasion. Okay, Waruay.
Oh, okay, yep.
Wait, 1 moment, because I have to do my disadvantage one. So this here is.
You don't get any bonus because Tyrson roll of 6. Okay, you go 5.
And I
Yeah.
will do. Oh, okay.
Don't forget you have your
Okay, hold up.
you have your ability. You can reroll
okay.
a failure since it's
Okay, yeah, I will use
my.
my.
You have to
Yeah.
roll it 3 times, yeah?
Yeah, I'll
Like,
use
because
my
disadvantage.
draconic. Yeah. My draconic entitlements and to re-roll the failed. So 18.
Okay, reroll again.
Oh,
Yeah, you reroll again because when you roll under disadvantage, you roll twice, choose the lowest, and roll again. You have to roll 3 times, not 2 times.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were getting someone else to roll.
Okay. So this is 3. So you roll 18. So basically 7, 18, 3. So I still have to take the 7, not the 3. So not the 18. And okay, basically it's all fail. Then Drago and Drupod, brother, then turns. Sure, no deal. Until of course we see the shinies. But seems that this young person here think that we're kobold, we have raised the ante a bit. So each of us will be getting 10 gold pieces each. At least that will be enough to get all the ale that we can to drink from here. If not, we will be moving to the next town, of course. Once this place dried out, there's no reason to stay in a dying town when there's no longer any ale.
When I hear that, I get like a light bulb moment, and I sort of start jumping up and down in excitement, and it's like, oh, and I point to Tyrson and say, but as you called it, the idiot there has a town. And I look to Tyrson and say, you have a bar or pub there with lots of ale there, don't you?
I do.
Honestly, Tyrson, you don't. You don't. You haven't managed your town yet. Okay. You do have a small tavern, but you don't have enough ale until you do start doing trading.
Yes, I do have a tavern, and they have very good vintage of ale.
This is
2
going to be
century,
very interesting.
3 century, can't remember. Very good ale. A little bit better than the dwarf ale.
Then roll for persuasion. No disadvantage, no advantage. Just roll persuasion.
Yeah.
Wait, so are you telling the truth or are you lying? I'm actually
yeah.
out of game now. But yeah, you're telling the
Yes.
truth or lying.
Could be telling the truth. He does perhaps have some ale. He does have a small tavern. He does have a really small tavern. He is telling the truth. I don't think he's lying because he's not unsure. He hasn't been back to Vow for a very long time.
Yeah.
So the dragons is unsure of your words, Tyrson. They look at you. They're like, until you can bring us a sample of your wine, then perhaps I would change my mind. Instead of gold pieces, I want to try this 3rd century wine that you talk about.
I have a bit of my food from my village. Do you want some of that as well? It's pretty good.
Then this looks at you and said, "Can I show it?"
Yeah. Alright, I break off. I'll go in my bag and get some meat out of my rations of human flesh and give it to him.
Well, what?
A bit of human flesh and give it to the dragon. But not saying it's a human.
This is going to be very interesting to see what happens.
You pass it over to the dragon. They look at it and smell, and after it looks at you, it seems that this looks very interesting. You have a meat made of human flesh. What are you?
I'm a wood elf.
No. What are you?
I'm a wood elf.
Roll for deception. Against their insight. I already roll for the insight. 2 of them.
Okay. Okay.
I'm actually curious now. Like, what do they mean by what are
exactly.
you?
Like, what are you? Because all
Oh,
of us,
Jesus.
are a bit, shocked to hear.
And the fact that it's human meat. So I'm actually curious to see what it is. I don't know if me and Durotan need a roll against his deception or not, but
We give
two.
this
Duraco
to-
and Drago returns to you, Tyrson, and said, "No, you are wood elf, but what really are you? You give us the smell of human flesh, and yet your skin is fine, pale as the moon itself. You are not alive, as you
I am
think
very
you are."
I'm very alive. Alive
Ah.
as you, my friend. We give this meat to our animals, and sometimes it's a good stomach healer for drinking too much ale.
Again, you're trying to deny and lie to your friend. It is okay, yeah, Tyrson. Until the time that you reveal to us what you really are. In front of your friends, of course, because we do not utter lies here. We seek the truth. And when you yourself come here to seek the truth, we will give you what you want. But until then, you can live until you decide to return. You can take this meat. We don't eat this, of course. We eat the finest meat in the land. And apparently this is not the best or the finest one that we crave. Darago and Draco laugh and come back to us when you have either the Chinese, a 10 gold piece each for both of us. Honor, of course. And if you can bring us the ale. Times have changed. Orc,
I thought
the price has been raised.
I just give Tyrson the stink eye, and I'm like,
You idiot, you just made it even much more difficult.
I look at Durotan and say, so is that negotiating?
Yeah, with them winning.
I say, I'm confused. I thought the point was to lower the price.
Yeah, because this idiot tried and failed. This is an example about why you should not let idiots like him do all the talking.
After hearing that, it's like, saying to Tyrson, it's like, do you eat people? And I like,
No.
and I'm like, shout, it's like, oh, do you eat kobolds? And
No.
like, snap, like, is that why you brought the kobolds? You weren't going to frame out, you were going to
No, my friend, I don't eat humans.
Well, then you'll be more than happy to pay the extra amount because of your stupidity. We already have 10, so pay the other. Pay the other amount, stupid.
I'm gonna look around in the taverns. Like, well, I'll see how much money I can win with a pack of game cards.
You have
So-
a small amount of money left from the boy. Borrow an extra 5 and pay the gentlemen here what you owe them now.
Okay. Just give them whatever they need. Jeez.
Yeah, well, they said that the new deal is going to be 10 gold each now.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just pay the 10.
Yeah. And I have the other 10.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that should teach you next time. Don't make any promises you cannot keep or lie.
Then Drago and Durotan then speaks out and said, I hear the conversation. Seems that if you are running out of options, perhaps I can give you another one. You know, Xanathar has just lost his beautiful wife and beautiful daughter, and it seems that the ship that they were on is stranded, shipwrecked at the coast 3 days travel from here. I hear stories that there is a treasure within that ship that Xanathar treasures the most. His wife's necklace. If she is really dead, then I believe that her necklace will still be on the ship or perhaps landed ashore. If you can get me, or me and my brother, of course, here, he doesn't have to share it with me, but if you can get me that necklace, I will tell you who the Brotherhood is. Not the organization itself, but the person. Strike at the heart directly instead of meeting the group. I can tell you that. Even though we are young, we are small, but we know we are not dumb as you think we are. We are smart as our big brother. But of course, you don't have to do this dirty deed. You could help Xanathar get back find the clue of his missing wife and the daughter. But if you can find the necklace, it is the best gift they will ever have. Then I will even consider following you back to this small little village of Vow, you said. If not, well, we would always pack our things and move to the humans to the south and give our Teru in wisdom to them. Humans wouldn't do anything to us. They're way too smart for them. So, you can drink it off, but goodbye for now. Unless you have the gold coins, then we can tell you where the Brotherhood is, but not the person.
Well, I suppose instead of getting the boat to the shipwreck, we could just travel there, but it might mean having to put off setting out to your town for, another day or so?
It's fine.
Yeah, because if it's going to take us around 2 to 3 days to get there, it's going to take us 2 to 3 days to get back. So we may have to hold off about, say, 2 days.
That's fine.
2 to 3 days.
It's all good. This needs to happen either way, so...
Yeah.
But you also have to think that even if Petra leaves with the caravan by herself during the 4th day, even if you manage to actually get the band off, you get a captain that can sail all the way to Bao, which is equal to speed.
Yeah, so
We have to
it doesn't matter.
we have to honor the caravan commitment first, so we can, at least get paid for that, and come back to this town again, and then attempt to look for the shipwreck, look for everything else, meaning that Tyrson just volunteered to telling the nobleman Xanathar, of our current commitment, and that once we finish it off, we'll come back to his lovely town and, help him out.
We could ask Tetra and see if she can talk to the other merchants and see if they're willing to wait, say, an extra 2 days. Because the benefit could be then they won't have to travel across land. They would be safely on a boat.
Oh yeah, true. Make it actually an extra week. If they can willing to wait an extra week, then yeah, I think we can do that. At least we can get the necklace, lift the ban, and help them by getting them a direct route with a ship.
Yeah, I can imagine the merchants will be a lot happier with that, because that would really reduce their travel time.
And means
it won't
more cargo for
their
them.
profits.
It means more cargo.
They can take more stuff to sell if we travel by ship.
What do you think, Leaf?
Sure.
Okay, she's your girlfriend, so we're just gonna
Okay.
You'll have to do the convincing.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, we're just gonna, accompany you while you do all the talk, and we're just gonna be in the background laughing.
You can do it.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
we did not make any prior commitments with her. Only you did.
Yep.
Man, I'm surprised she hasn't killed you already, or even you spotted her with a voodoo doll of you while she's poking it constantly of all things and a knife in the head.
Sounds like a perfect love story.
As they're sort of talking and slowly walking out, I'm going to whisper to the two dragons in Draconic and say, "What is he?"
Roll for persuasion with advantage.
Okay, yeah.
The dragons, both of them, speak in synchronization in Draconic and said, "Our eyes see a brighter future, but also a darkness that engulfs the skies upon your actions."
And say, "That's weird because that's exactly what old Zack said."
Old Zack. He speak again in Draconic. Old Zack is a wise old man. It is best that you keep him close to you.
I say, I suppose there are a lot of wise people here for me to learn from. And before I go, I say, well, I do hope you do come with us, and I will leave.
Okay, and then you left to follow Durotan and Tyrson, where you actually notice that Rhin'zey is actually busy savoring the food at the kitchen.
Man,
Always
Leave me, guys.
eating with his stomach.
Leave me. Rhin'zey does like wave his hand and then I think you guys go. You guys go ahead. Leave me here. I am savoring the food, of course. I'm enjoying the life here.
They just came in with some fresh fish. Some tuna.
man, the guy is gonna be bloated. But yeah.
I'm a cat. Cats love fish.
Mhm.
They also, I mentioned as well, the chef has put a little extra spice on his food. Catnip.
Yes. This is a chef. The chef is a goblin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would imagine the goblin would be trying to gouge the crap out of him.
Yes. Okay, so where you guys want to go? Straight to the city to talk to the merchants.
Talk to Tektra.
Yeah, because she's
Break
pretty
away
much
the bad
the
news.
leader,
Mhm.
leader of the merchants, I guess. Yeah.
After heading out from the tavern and passing the fountains, you head straight to where Petra and Lewin is and Elefine, the Elven merchant. You see Petra just busy there talking to him in Elvish. And once you all arrive, Petra turned and surprised to see all three of you again, and it's now afternoon.
So, my love, would you be able to delay the trip to my village a few days? If it's not, it's okay. But I just want to help out the Lord Mayor of this fine establishment of village.
Roll for persuasion.
By the way, you smell beautiful.
Now with disadvantage.
You know what? That is actually realistic to life. Because now she knows that you're trying to butter her up.
Alright.
Oh.
I believe 8 is the lowest unless you roll a natural 1. Okay, 8 is the lowest. She turns to you, she eyes you, her arms crossed. Then she like, staying back. What do you have in mind? Don't wait, Tyrson, don't tell me. You want to make sure that you leave as much of your loins around here to make sure that you will have more offsprings in the future.
No, my love, you're the only one for me. I'm just want to help out the local, the mayor of the whole village. He's finally sobered up, and I still need to go to where the shipwreck is to find out what happened. But it's okay to postpone that and make sure you're safe and comfortable on the journey back to my village.
Petra responded. I noticed that her facial expression changed to be annoyed, and she said, "We have already planned this. We already talked about this yesterday. That we're going to be leaving in the next 4 days. The merchants going to be losing their business if we were to delay this any longer."
I
And then
agree.
after that, when she said that, Elephime, the elf merchant, then spoke and walked over to you and said, "My friend, Tyrson, if we are to delay any longer, my business will be affected. We already promised to head out from the gates to the lands itself and using the causeway itself, heading off to Vow,
That's fine.
where you will lead us. Are you telling me that you will no longer lead us?"
Yes, we
See,
will lead you. We were just spitballing, so
seeing
it's
Tyrson in
fine.
a little bit of trouble, I'm going to pop over and say, well, another option has presented itself. If we delay the trip just for a few more days, and we go to this shipwreck not far from town, collect an item, and come back and do a couple more things here around town. We can get, instead of traveling by land, we can get free travel by ship. I mean, it's up to you. I'm happy to proceed either way, but would the merchants be happy delaying for a few days in order to go by sea, or do you just want to head out as planned on land?
The elven merchant Elephant put his hand on his chin. A ship. And then Petra then quickly interrupted and said, "Wait, are you saying that if you're able to solve this, you're able to get a ship all the way to Vow?
Yeah.
Instead of traveling
yeah.
by land?"
The ship captain said that she will take us all the way to Val for free, if we manage to solve a few issues here around town. But it will mean we'll have to leave town for what, about 5 to 6 days. Yeah, that's how much travel time, because it's about 2 to 3 days there, so 2 to 3 days back. Then probably another day to solve the situation when we get back, and then we'll have sea travel. Although, I'm not to say that it's not without its risks, but the reward is greater. We will keep our promise either way, but the potential there is like we can continue with the scheduled plan by land, or if we delay it for just a little bit longer, there's a chance that we can go there by sea, so the merchants will be able to carry a lot more goods with us. It's free, so the merchants won't have to cover the actual cost of the shipping itself, and we will get to Val sooner than originally planned, because we will be traveling by sea instead of land. But this is probably something that, as the merchants, will probably have to discuss with each other.
Elephant then slowly turns his gaze at Petra, and Petra look at Elephant and then slowly turn and look at you, Tyrson, and as she looks at Waruay, and said, "If you can persuade the other merchants, perhaps we can even persuade more merchants. If they were to know that there's a ship, and if you're able to solve this, then we can actually bring more instead of the 4 that we have right now."
Yes, I agree.
Can I say I've
Hmm.
only ever been on a small ship with that, and I turned to Tyrson and say, "Would the captain's ship be bigger enough for more
Yes.
people than what we have now?"
Yes.
Cordelia, she have the best ship here. It was crafted and given to her by the artificer. She made it specifically for her, and I heard stories, but she is unable to set sail because of the unusual storm. But if this storm has something to do with the death of Xanathar's wife and daughter, I believe that maybe you could actually help in this. But then again, it's just rumors. But if we can get that ship to set sail further to the north, we'll still be safe because the storm only infects those that's going to the south and not to the north.
Hmm.
And then she said, try to persuade the other merchants first, and then talk to the other merchants at the square and see if they're willing to actually travel if you're able to actually get a boat up to the north.
Hmm.
Will do.
Yeah, we'll discuss with the others and see what they want to do. We'll
Okay.
come back and let you know what merchants have agreed upon now.
Right. Petra now giving you two a task to actually talk to the other merchants, the one that you talked previously before, and see if they agree to actually travel with you once you actually manage to solve this.
Alright.
Okay? Okay, what you guys want to do?
Yep. Jason, is that what you want to do?
Sure. Sounds good.
Durotan, I believe, is taking a little nap under the palm trees there.
Yes, a little nap. 15-minute nap.
Yeah, a power nap. Yeah, it's been an exhausting day for him so far.
You know,
I'll lie down here. You do what you need to do. That's what Durotan said.
fair enough. You know, Warwick, you know we got ripped off with those dragon stuff because we already know this prior to talking to the little dragons.
I'll say it's like now I understand what my master, the elder, would say to me all the time. It's like you just give the dragons what they want. It's a lot easier in the end. I kind of understand what he meant now. But I understand what Durotan means as well, but maybe not being into what everyone wants is best to negotiate with others. But the dragons, dealing with dragonkind, is probably going to be something I'm going to have to learn to pick up. And I say, do you want to talk to the merchants in the same order as we went to last time, or do you want to go to the closest one over here and
Closest one.
When you two were actually talking, you see the two other merchants, Urkan and Hardis here, the
Yeah.
dwarf, Nordotir, and then after that, the North human known as Harmlissa.
Oh yeah, wrong way. Hello
Oh, yeah.
there.
And old
Hello.
Jack is coming. Well,
Hello there. There's an opportunity to get to Val quicker, but it's probably we would have to delay our departure from this fine city. We'll be, instead of walking, we'll be leaving by boat. Would you be interested of joining our voyage on the boat?
I call over old Zach and say, "Oh, this is going to interest you as well, since you're coming on the trip."
Old Zack
Oh, yeah.
is there, they're screaming, the apocalypse is coming, the sky is dark, the darkness is coming, I see your souls engulfed, and blah 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 blah, and many, many more. He's not even listening to you, he's still talking. The only one that actually is reasonable able to talk to you is Urkan and Hardis. And then they turned to Tyrson and said, wait, Erkan, the one wearing the white shirt, is like wearing a white gown all the way in. He they speak to you. Wait, are you saying that we have to travel by boat?
If
Uh,
if you guys don't want to, and everyone else doesn't want to, um we'll
Yeah.
travel by sea, by land. But if you want to travel by sea, we just got to delay a few days.
We stumbled across another opportunity, and I say to Tyrson, what was the captain's name again? The one you were flirting with?
Uh, I don't know. I describe white hat, black hat with white feather, always sitting in the bar drinking tea.
And I say, well, she's offered to give us free transportation to us and anyone who wishes to come with us to the town by sea on a ship. But we just need to help the mayor with a couple of things and help her lift the ban from a ship. So in total, it's probably going to take a couple of days, possibly up to a week. But if it happens, then we can give all the merchants and free travel by sea to the town, so we won't have to cross on land. Or we can just cross the land now as rescheduled. But the opportunity there is that you get to carry additional stuff without any extra cost.
Roll for persuasion, both of you.
Oh,
Okay, roll.
yeah. Oh,
All right. Okay, Tyrson. Okay, while Waru is actually explaining, they were looking at you like, this kobold is speaking some sense. And then after Tyrson is like, and they were Tyrson, you explain again, and they're like, more stuff to bring on the boat. And then they both look at, then Erkan and Hardis look at each other and said, And then Hardis said, and then he held his chest tight and said, I do not mind to bring more things and travel by boat, but my partner here, Erkan, he is terrified of water.
It is
If-
fine. I can calm him on the journey.
If you can find a priest or somebody that is dedicated to the temple of Tasa, then perhaps he would be calm enough to go on the boat. Are you worshippers of Tasa?
I am not sure.
You are not sure. Do you
I-
even worship any deity?
I do not at this moment to worship any deity.
I say I suppose I worship the true powerful beings, dragons, and I like scratch my sort of chin and think on it for a moment.
Yeah. Then if you are unable to persuade my partner Erkan here, if you are not a follower of Tasa, then he'll be too terrified to follow. Then Hardy said, then I'm really sorry. I cannot agree on this watery trip. And I will only agree on the land.
I'll see what I can do, my good friend.
Roll for religion, three of you.
Oh, okay. That is not good for me.
Oh, all good rolls for religion. Okay.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
You
like,
heard-
Yeah.
You heard about Tasa, the god of the sea. The temple is just not far from where you are. She actually assists travelers that travel on the sea safely, and many of the people of this town or this city itself actually worships Tasa. And she's always, Tasa is neither he nor she. Nobody knows whether Tasa is actually male or female. But all you know that Tasa is always, and for anyone that actually worship Tasa, you can always be sure that the travel will always be safe. But the temple of Tasa is just nearby if you actually enter the temple. in order to actually persuade Urkan, you would either need to get a symbol of Tasa, or worse, or one of you get or become devoted to Tasa, or change your religion to Tasa, and then get the symbol of Tasa to persuade. But otherwise, you can just use persuasion check and ensure that Urkan agrees to follow by both. What do you three want to do?
I suppose if we are going to get boats, we should probably talk to the other merchants first, but if majority of them are on board, maybe we could speak to someone at the temple, and there might be a priest or an acolyte, someone there who's willing to come with us. Like on a pilgrimage, or... And I say to Tyson, do you have any temples in your town?
No, my friend.
And I say, well, maybe...
There is a church. That is it.
And I say, well, maybe someone might be willing at the temple to travel with us to your town to spread the word of their God.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
Who knows? They might have a priest merchant. Maybe if someone who sells like holy water or something who's willing to come.
Have you thought of talking, I don't know, to the temple priest and say if they have any holy symbols?
Yeah, or we could get a holy symbol.
I mean, we are standing in front of the temple, so let's walk in there.
Yeah, let's go into the temple then.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, I worship the god of war, and in Kevin, he never demands anything unless it's an honorable fight. And the occasional, duels against worthy opponents. No holy symbols needed, no nothing, at least from my perspective.
Well, well, kobolds mostly just follow whatever dragon they serve. So...
Well, let me tell you about the glorious god of war, and how you can get on his good side.
The moment the three of you enter the temple of Tasa, you see a priestess walks over to you and then actually offered her hands and said, "Welcome to the temple of Tasa, weary travelers. Are you here for healing? Are you here for prayers? Or are you here for donation to the temple?"
We are here for an opportunity. You can help us.
And what is that opportunity?
So, we are in the next couple of days, if everyone decides to go,
well, be about
to my village. And they are concerned about the sea. And because they are strong believers of this god of yours, they won't leave land if they have a patron or a acolyte who can come with us, or a holy symbol we can purchase with a donation, to inspire them to come with us over the sea to my village.
I will listen to your call, but Tasa sees you as perhaps a different people that perhaps pray to a different god and goddesses. The moment you enter, I know that the three of you are not the worshippers of Tasa, but I heard your predicament, young one. So, the travelers that are willing to travel with you are afraid of the open sea, but perhaps I can actually offer you an item that perhaps would assure them. However, the symbol of Tasa is not to be given just to anyone. You have to have a devotee of Tasa in order to carry the symbol of Tasa within your grasp. So, but I see that within your eyes and the moment you actually enter, that none of you is devotee. But still, I'm unable to help further. But perhaps you should ask one of my subordinates at the upper floor to see if we have anything for you.
Thank you for helping us to guide us.
You see the temple priestess just turn her back and then after that kneel and then to pray to the god of Tasa, leaving you three at the halls itself, while the guards stand close guarding the priestess.
I'm going to whisper to Durotan and say, I'm learning a lot about negotiating.
Sadly, all the wrong things. Let's
Hey,
go.
what are you guys gonna do?
I just simply, like, as I walk, I just simply tell Tyrson,
Let's go, you big disappointment. And I cannot believe we actually followed you as a leader. Ugh. Man, I'm glad you're not an orc. If you were an orc with this shabby leadership, the clan would have killed you by now, out of shame.
I have a motto. I have a poem to say to you.
I'm gonna take a guess that says the first step of trying is also the first step into failure.
How do you know this? Poem?
Well, it's the motto of every idiot that doesn't want to try out things.
Okay, Waruay and Durotan roll for wisdom or
okay.
insight.
Oh, wisdom or insight?
Wisdom or insight. Wisdom or insight doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
Check. I'll try. Was good.
Uh,
A good try.
Okay. Alright, you start to think to yourself slightly. When you first met Tyrson's mother, did Tyrson's mother actually really send him on a quest, or did she deliberately send him away on a quest?
Yeah, exactly. And he's like thinking, usually orc, when they want to get rid of the problem child, they just send them on a long hunting trip and demands they do not return until they bring the head of, legendary creatures or something. That way, if they die, they die unrewarded.
Meanwhile, at Vow, the mother and the sister, oh, mom, it's so peaceful here without Tyrson. Yeah, it's been months.
Until they see him, they'll be like, oh, good lord, he's back.
with like 100 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, Tyrson, you actually head up, and then you see one young priest looking at you as they enter. Then, holding his mace and a book, he said, yes, how can I help you?
Hello, my name is Tyrson. I'm looking for someone who can follow us on our journey north to my village to inspire the travelers of the merchants who are traveling with us by sea, if this happens. So, would you be interested in coming with us, or a trinket you can give him to reassure him everything will be okay? He is a
Travel, you
devotee.
say?
Yes.
With the open sea, it's dangerous
Yes.
like travel. Are you heading to the north? Are you heading to the south?
I said the north.
Ah, sorry.
Are you right?
And then he said, and you want me to travel with you?
Yes, if it's most if you are able to. Um, I am very happy to bring more members on to my village, not in the north.
I will sort of jump in and say, well, if it helps, the village that we're going to doesn't really have any temples or anything like that, from what I've heard. So it might be a good opportunity to spread the word of your god there.
Is your village near the coast itself? Do you have a temple erected?
We
or
have
at
a
least
church.
shrine?
We have a church.
A church?
Yes, a church.
What is your church dedicated to?
What century is this?
There's no century. This is Teros. In Teros,
Teros.
there are numbers of deities in Teros.
Yes. Well,
If you don't have a
scratch my head.
deity, then you have to either choose one or perhaps persuade this guy and say, they will worship Tasa or something like that. But then again, then you have to worship Tasa, which would be a problem if you realize that you do have a pantheon that you worship right now.
Yeah. I at the moment there is no priest or priestess or deity we worship. I'm slowly convinced to follow a deity,
Well,
but I haven't
you-
made the leap yet.
meaning that your church prays to a minor god or any god or goddesses before this.
Yes.
That's why the church was very active, because
Yes.
Tasa is the god of the sea. The other gods, the other major gods is Heliod, the god of the sun, Erebos, the god of the dead, Purphoros, god of forge, mostly by dwarves and so on, Nilia, god of the hunt, and the other minor gods is Atrios, god of passage, Ifara, god of police, Eros, god of victory. I believe Durotan's one is
Iros, the god of war.
the god of war.
Mhm.
Yeah, the god of war. Now from Tyros. So that's a lot actually. So that's a lot over here. So if you decide to actually tell Tasa and worship Tasa, okay, roll for persuasion with advantage.
Ooh, that's perfect.
The young priest looked. If you open your arms and your heart to the god of Tasa, then you have a priest with you. Consider me a part of your entourage when the time comes. So, do we travel by boat or do we travel by land?
At the moment, by sea, if I get all parties on board.
I see. That is the music to my ears. Then I will offer you my aid as cleric of Tasa. You will have my mace and my skills at your disposal.
Thank you. My name is Tyrson, Paladin of Oath.
The paladin, a paladin that does not have a god or goddesses to worship at the moment. You will perhaps devote yourself to Tasa once I arrive at your temple or church.
We'll see.
Remind your words, Tyrson. Otherwise, I would have to return.
I am kidding, my friend.
Then, after that, he speaks. Return to me once you are done.
Thank you. Okay, one down, two to go.
I talked to Durotan again, and it's like, now I'm really confused. Is that how you negotiate?
You basically try to. The art of negotiation is simply. You try to get what you want at any price necessarily. In his case, groveling to people and saying you'll do whatever they will tell you is usually a solution. Not good for your dignity. I mean, did you see me grovel to those dragons or beg them? No. I'm not an idiot. I have my dignity, you know. Keep learning.
Hurry up,
Keep
children.
learning.
I say, so there's always a price. It's just that he's willing to pay more than you.
Exactly. Exactly. Who is willing to pay more? You or the other person?
My good friend, I have returned with good news. A cleric of Tussa is going to join us on our journey on the sea.
A cleric of Tassa? Huh. That is interesting news. Oh. Then, during the time comes, bring the cleric over here, so that the cleric may bless us during the journey ahead. You will have us on your journey, should the time comes, young person.
Thank you, my good friend.
Okay, and then where do three of you want to go?
Up
To
to the upper merchants.
yeah, merchants.
You
Hello,
before-
my wonderful friend. How is this fine day for you, sir?
Then, the moment you actually walk towards this merchant, the merchant's like, oh, well, everything's good. Everything's fine. So when are we leaving? My feet can't wait to leave.
Well, there's a choice you can make. We can travel by sea, but it just means taking a journey a little bit longer, but you can have more room, space for more stuff you can trade for us. Because the passage is free.
No, no space. Say no more. Roll
Okay.
persuasion with advantage. Oh. How sure are you that there'll be enough space for me? Is the cargo large enough for everything that I have?
Yes, we are traveling with the fine captain of.
White hair. I don't
What's
know
the,
her
Well,
name.
wait.
What's the captain's name?
The fine lass in the tavern, always
Who?
drinking tea and
There's
have
so many
a black,
fine lads at the tavern.
wearing a black hat and a white feather.
I need name, boy. Not how she look like. I need a name.
I turn to Tyrson and say, I can't believe you're flirting with her and you don't even know her name.
How about this, my good friend? If I don't need to tell you the name, I'll put in a good word for you for her.
If you don't know the name of the captain, the dwarf said, then how am I to trust you?
Well,
You're willing to travel with an unknown person that you don't know the name of? And you expect me to trust you?
no, I trust.
Anybody want to assist Tyrson?
Yeah, I just can't quite remember the name either. Can I try to do it like a knowledge check or something to see if I can recall it?
Intelligence check, DC 15.
Okay. Is that an intelligence saving throw or?
Just intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Alright. You think to yourself, you're not that smart. but you're wise enough, but you crack your head. What's her name? What's her name? You think to yourself.
Hmm.
And then you recall, Ordelia is her name.
Ideally.
Ordelia.
Is that Ordelia?
Oh, that's it,
or
Adelia. She has a fine ship.
Well, I say, yeah, Ordelia.
Yeah, Waruay and said, it's Ordelia.
Yeah, I make you struggle a little bit more than I say.
Yes. Then Tyrson then continued from there after he heard Waruay said the name Ordelia. Yes, Ordelia, she has a fine ship. And she is fine herself. Perhaps Tyrson wanted to say that.
Yes, she's fine. Yes, Adelia. She's fine and her ship's fine. Oh, if
Said the dwarf.
you might have I can say something good about you, if that helps.
Then the dwarf like slams his fist. You should have mentioned her name earlier. Cordelia. She's famous around here. Hey. But then again, she's banned from leaving because of the Brotherhood's law.
But
How sure are you, Tyrson, that you are able to bypass this law? He points his finger at you, pointing at your face.
I am 110% sure if everyone decides to go by ocean. But it just means we'll be leaving a little bit later in the week
And I'll
than
say
earlier.
it's probably going to take us anywhere from a couple of days to a week. We have to do a couple of things. We have to help the mayor and Ordelia. You obviously get out from under the Brotherhood, but once we're done, she's offered us free travel for ourselves and anyone who wants to come with us, which includes any of the merchants who wish to travel as well.
Then, if you are able to break the law, he points at your face again with his big stumpy finger. If you are able to let Ordelia leave the port with her ship, with her fine-looking ship, you will have me and many more of my wares at your place that I'll be able to set up shop. I will have enough material to even create a small-looking shop at your place. What's the name? Bao? Gao?
Wow.
Bao, yes, Bao. Small little town, yes. The name, yeah, missed me, yeah. Yeah, you got me, of course.
Thank you, my
I'm
good
on
man.
board. Okay, that's done. But again, everything leads back to Ordelia. As long as a boat can leave, everybody agrees. Okay, alright,
Yeah.
next. What you guys want to do?
Wasn't there one more merchant, or was that the main?
Yeah. Yeah, there's one more merchant.
Yeah, I know we spoke to her previously, but she wasn't part of the main merchant set. But she agreed to come with us anyway.
Yeah, if every merchant was on board, so they are.
Oh, she's a textile merchant anyway. Actually,
Yeah,
yes,
she's.
I want to see if I can purchase a dark black coat from her.
Hello there, my lady.
Lady Rosa looks at you. Hello there, beautiful and handsome friends.
Yes. And you are very wonderful as well. Thank you. There's an opportunity. I have all three merchants who were joining us to go on land. Would you be able to and want to go off land by the ocean north, my village? I have all backings with the three merchants I said earlier yesterday. I just wondered, would you be still interested of joining us, but by ocean, and the cargo is free?
And don't forget Olivia, I forget how to pronounce her name. She said she's going to be taking us, if that helps.
I see, Anurisa said, surprised even. A shock look to her face. roll for persuasion with advantage.
Oh, nice so far. Right.
And then she said, "Huh, wherever you go, young Tyrson, I'll follow." And then
Thank
she would,
you. This is a tiring work.
Before we go, I wanted to ask her. It's like, you sell cloth and that, but do you make articles of clothing?
yes, I make simple clothing actually. The best clothes in the land, as what people claim to be. If you want a nobleman's clothes, or if you want a merchant's clothing, or even if you want a scholar's clothing, I can make everything that you need. Do you have anything that you seek, young kobold?
Yeah. I'm told that I poke way too much. I'm way too noticeable. I want to be a bit more unseen. Like, I'm looking for like a cloak or something. Just so I'm not as noticeable in public. And I say, because as you can notice, come through this town before, and there are quite a lot of my kind in cages. So I'm looking for something to make myself unseen.
Ah, I was wondering to think that if you want to have a clothes, so it can make you better when you negotiate with people, like a nobleman's clothing or a merchant's clothing. Obviously, in metagaming wise, meaning that if you use different type of clothing, it will give you bonuses in either persuasion, intelligence, charisma, and blah blah blah. And after when
Oh,
you mentioned that you want to keep yourself hidden, and she's like, huh, yes, I noticed that your skin is a bit shinier during any day. Doesn't matter whether it's night or day. Perhaps I have a cloth or a cloak that I can perhaps fashion for you. Let me see. Then she goes through and rubbish through her stuff, and after she pick up a cloth. It's like a cloak, actually, small enough for you. And then she said, "Usually I make this for halflings, but for you it fits quite well."
huh. Yeah, I'll have a look at it and try it out.
When you wore it,
And
you have some sort like a face mask, of like some sort of a turban on top of your head that covers perhaps like your face. If you put the hood down, it covers the back, it covers the skin to the front, and after the only thing visible is slowly a bit of your tail just protruding out from the cape behind you. And then after you realize that, okay, you're a bit shadowy, you're a bit darker, and then after that, all right, then you realize that you no longer feel the heat underneath the sun. And then she looks at you, then you Anurusan and said, this would fit you very well, even against the darkness or even the moonlight. And perhaps if you're the sneakiest type, and then she whispered to you, if you're a thief, of course, which apparently you're not, I can see the way you walk and the way you talk. You know, a rogue, she tells you. But since that young Tyrson, he has been kind enough, and then she slowly turns to you, Tyrson, and said, Tyrson has been kind enough to give me my own shop at Vow. Isn't that right?
Yes, we'll see what we can do for you.
Okay. And then after that, then this cloak is yours, young Waruay, she said out.
and I say, I'm really enthusiastic, and I say, wow, thank you. And I like spin around and say, thank you, I really appreciate it.
Right? And then after that, then she
Oh,
said, it's yours.
and I say, but when we do get to the town and you fix up your shop, I say, I do like the idea of like merchant clothing, because I'm going to be learning from Petra and the others how to negotiate properly for how to negotiate with people. So clothing that matches that would be probably the best thing I can do.
Once Tyrson give me my own shop, I will fashion you the best merchant's clothing anybody have not seen throughout the lands. She speaks for that.
Right. I'm really excited about that and say, so no pressure on Tyrson.
Yes, that's gonna take away your coffers once you arrive, and your mother will have to like, so you're giving me or giving them all these free items.
And I turn to Durotan and it's like, I've worked it out now. You just get Durotan, you just get Tyrson to pay for everything.
Exactly. I mean,
No, don't get me to pay for everything.
hey, it's your convoy. It's your convoy, meaning free stuff for us workers. We only work for you, so technically,
Yeah.
it's free things.
I can't imagine where this will go in the future once you guys manage to erect a kingdom. Okay, but I want to see where it goes from here on.
No,
All right. Okay. Anyways,
if we go like to a kingdom and whatnot, let's just first follow him. But if we work into like a kingdom or something, man, all me and Waruay have to do, we plan a coup within ourselves, and that's it. We worked out. We're like, let's just kill him, blame him for some few bad stuff, but the people are gonna be too dumb not to believe this, and we'll rule the kingdom with an iron fist, of course.
As long as the kobolds are free and not being eaten, I'm completely happy with whatever. So
A future coup, buddy.
okay. Anyways, hey, what you guys wanna do? The Hanurisa agreed to follow. Okay, no questions asked. As long as you get a shop.
Mm-hmm. We're just gonna follow Tyrson, because assuming this whole talk like happened as he was going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So-
so he heard him paying for things, he walked off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you head over to this merchant person. When you look at the merchant that looks at you, and after that he like scream, you notice that this tiefling is like covered up, and then he said, you must be here for dates. Of course, not dating me, but all the finest fruits of the land. Of course, they are dry, but waiting many more. Here, savor some, try some. Dark berries, blueberries, strawberries, with healing properties, he tells you.
Mm.
Yeah, oh, I'll happily try one.
And then when you tried one, at first, when you took a bite, you realize as if that your eyes could see further, as if that you could see brighter now. You're not too sure why, but because the sun is up, you're not too sure how this works. And after the man that looks at you, this will make you see in darkness, as if you are seeing things in the bright light, he tells you.
That's very special.
Yes, many have tried to buy this. Especially, I get my stock mostly from the Brotherhood. I give some and many to them. They get a many from me, of course. They said that this will assist them in many things outside the lands.
You know the Brotherhood really well.
Let's just say business is business. So, are you here to buy anything? You have browsed my wares. See what you like, then buy what you like.
I'll say, yeah, Tysson, didn't you want to... you wanted to talk to him about the merchant caravan, didn't you?
Yeah, I do, but I am not sure corruption that I want that in my village.
What the Brotherhood?
Yeah.
Hey, wherever he goes, the Brotherhood follows.
Yep. So, nice wares, I'll move on.
Alright, okay, and you move on.
Yeah, I'll follow along
Mm-hmm.
to the next merchant. Then.
You see the next merchant. You see this tabaxi, like flexing her arms and looking at you. Quite cute for a female tabaxi. And then she said, I love. See anything you like, myself, and perhaps my wares. And then you notice that she's actually selling not dates, not fruits. But you notice she's actually selling something that's way different here. You notice that she's actually selling weapons. Simple
Ah.
weapons, martial weapons, simple armor. And then you see his worker at the side like tank, 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 and sharpening some weapons on some anvils, and then creating some armor at the back. And then she noticed that she took one sword, that short sword, and started swinging around, showing some skills, and then showing to you, this sword is made by the finest steel. Of course, iron is the finest steel. Steel iron, that's the best. If you want to fancy and find yourself some good weapons, you can always come to me, she said.
Yeah, I'm in the next couple of days. I might be heading north to my village, and I'm just wondering, would you be interested of joining us? We are leaving here by the sea, and the captain's name is. I look to Waruay.
I'm just browsing the stock and looking at the quality of it, picking up like a dagger or a sword every now and again and staring it down. And I look back at Tyrson and I like just roll my eyes in the back of my head. And I say, I forget how to pronounce it. Olivia?
Of Lydia.
Or
Yeah.
or Delia.
Delia, that yeah.
Durotan going right.
You uneducated. You know what? No more drinking for you, oh furious leader.
And
It's
I
the
say,
day.
yeah, I say, yeah, something like that. Common's not my first language. And I'll go back to browsing and checking the quality of the weapons.
Would you be interested?
Traveling up north, leaving my small stuff here, bringing my people. I got 2 workers, of course. Do you have accommodation for people like me? Do you even have a shop set up?
No, there's no shop set up. It's going to be, for the time being, it's a small village I'm planning to grow, and your wares should be very useful for us.
Well, you do know there is a ban on ships leaving port. How are you dealing with that? How are you going to deal with that?
I have a way of dealing with that.
Ah,
But it just means we'll be leaving with later in the week.
Well, your words are strong. However, I would like to see if you could follow those words. Traveling by ship, bring my wares. If you can get a sea captain to talk to me, once it's done, then I will agree.
I will do. Thank you.
Okay, Waruay, roll for perception.
Oh, yep. So, Tyrson, you want to put her down as a maybe?
Yeah, I'll put down the maybe. Do I need to roll anything?
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, Waruay. While Tyrson was busy talking to the merchant, you actually noticed other than the weapons, the spears, the staff, the slings, or many other things that this Tabaxi merchant is selling, you actually notice that she also makes braces. You notice these braces is really nicely unique in design. It seems to have these braces have some sort of extended anti-track cross. When you like press a button and then suddenly you see the 3 cross like pop up, ching, like that.
A cross, did you say?
And then after that, claws.
Claws.
G-sharp claws. And then after that, then the merchant then said, that item. Yes, it's like one of the Brotherhoods merchants like was just selling this away, asking me to sell it. And it seems that a few of them actually bought this from me and equipped it on themselves.
Saying it is an unusual weapon. I haven't quite seen anything like this before. And I ask, how does it operate?
Just when you clench your fist, the claws appears. But once you release your fist in a relaxed motion, it detects.
I said, interesting. How much are you selling this for?
This, well, it's only about 105 gold pieces. But for you, I can give it to you for 90 gold pieces.
And say, well, it is a lovely piece, but unfortunately, it's kind of way out of my price range.
Yes.
Best I can do is like 2 gold, but I imagine that is not something you would be interested in.
But you, the three of you look like the adventuring type, she said. But perhaps, love, you should. Why? Well, this is not a place for me to tell you where to go to seek out your fame, glory, and treasures. But throughout this land of Matahari itself, there are many ancient dungeons which you can seek out treasures. There are a number of adventurers that come here to travel down beneath the labyrinths of Matahari. But it is up to you if you feel like going down, of course.
Go dungeon
like,
with the scary cat here? You must be joking.
And when I say scary cat, you see him pointing to Tyrson.
I scratch my chin. It's like, we've actually came to this town partly because of the reason we heard that there's a lot of dungeons and old hidden places around filled with treasure, but we haven't been able to get much information on it. I suppose if you were willing to help us, then we could come back with the treasures that we find, and we would be willing to sell and barter and spread that wealth around from what we find down there. I don't suppose you know anyone, or do you have any information about such location?
Yes. I know one particular person. He's standing there underneath the palm tree. His name is Baya. He knows a thing or two about ancient locations where he could tell you. There's even one even beneath Matahari, a multi-level dungeon, ancient cities they call it. Because Matahari is a town built upon layers of ancient cities before the destruction, before Heliod destroyed the world and reforged it again and again and again. Old Zagreus over there at the pillar, he knows stories of more places, much more dangerous places with more treasure. Old Zag there. Speak to him. He will point you in the right direction.
And say, old Zach? Like, I look like confused.
He may be crazy, but he knows his stories.
And I say, and I will gently put the braces back, and I will bow and say, well, thank you for your time and information.
The Tabaxi bows, and thank you for browsing my wares.
I'm guessing we're going to walk up to the next merchant?
Okay, where you guys want to go?
I think eventually we should go down and talk to Baya, but it looks like there's another merchant there and another merchant there. Did you want to go speak to him?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Since we're here?
Yeah.
And who knows, we could find someone else for you to flirt with.
You see another Tabaxi, shorter than most, fatter too. And after that he says, "Welcome to Mariasex Ale and Wine and Beverages. You see here this barrel, one of them, the best sugary drink, but when you take it, you feel gases coming up from your stomach and then releasing it from your behind. And of course, who doesn't like Elven and Dwarven wine?"
Yes, I do, and I am heading towards I'm heading north And our ale is pretty good as well. It's well seasoned. And our wines. And would you be interested of traveling with us by sea later in through the week, if it's possible, by sea?
Travel to where, of course.
What's your town's
Novik.
name?
Oh no, Novik.
Your own hometown already.
Hey, wasn't your town called
It's been a
Val?
long day. Yes, sorry, it is Val.
I turned to the merchant and say, you excuse him, he did hit his head pretty hard last night.
Ah, yes, I would understand, Tabaxi said. But sorry, I don't trust a man that couldn't even remember his village name.
That's fair enough. I hope I could convince you later on.
Perhaps. Now, excuse me, I got other people that's willing to try and taste my wine.
Okay,
What the three of you want to go next?
should we just visit the last merchant now?
Yeah.
Which is
sure.
here is like, come. Necklaces and amulets for pretty women and even pretty boys like you, young sir. He points at you, Tyrson. Yeah, if I were to dress you in a woman's clothing, nobody will find a difference.
I prefer you not to dress me in a woman's clothes, thank you. How about I dress you in a woman's clothes?
I did before when I was 17. I remember the day. Then he looks up into the sky. Flashbacks. He told him after that. Yes. I have necklaces and amulets, treasures from lands far beyond. Adventurers come here and then they sell me all the treasures that they find. Useless trinkets, I can tell you. And then I will offer them the money that they find. If you have anything that you're willing to sell, you look like the adventuring type. If you have anything that you find in ancient places, I'm the man to go to.
I turn to Tyrson and say, well, maybe some of this stuff you could get for Tetra, and she might not be as mad at you. Because that's what you larger humanoids do, isn't it? You buy.
Last time I got her something, she was trying to kill me with it.
Okay, and I point to the man and say, do you have something that could be a gift that can't be used to kill someone?
So my good man, are heading north to Val. Would you be interested of joining us by sea? I have several merchants accompanying us to Val by sea in this week, maybe next week. Would you be willing to travel with us?
Then he speaks out. Then he said, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, alright. They said, I would rather stay here, where the money is good. Unless you can tell me that your port town is bigger than mine, or bigger than here.
Not as yet, my friend. But probably next time I'll come here and probably buy something and come with us.
Yes. Persuade
Have a
me,
nice
and
day.
persuade me your place is bigger. Then I will agree.
Will do.
Oh, before we go, I say, you mentioned adventurers selling you stuff that they found from ancient hidden places. Do you know at all where some of these places might be? So we might go there, get some more items and return with them?
Right. Okay, what do you guys want to do?
I was just asking the merchant, if he knew of any of the places where the adventurers have been searching before, ancient lost places. Because I know we can talk to Baya down the bottom, but he mentioned adventurers built stuff to him, so I was just curious if he knew any places or anything.
There's a number of places you can travel. But Baya over there is the man that you should talk to.
Yeah, the nice cat lady across the stalls here mentioned that. Thank you.
Yes. You see a man next to his camel, guarded by some sort of guard apparently next to him, underneath the tree. So what do you three want to do?
Well, I say let's go talk to Baya, then. At least we can learn some locations the next time we visit here.
And
Yeah.
also, we need to ask the people about the storm and the sunken ship which killed the town nobleman's wife and child.
Good idea.
I turn to you guys. My throat is quite sore. It doesn't stop you of helping me out. I don't need to be the number one ambassador for everything. If you decide to ask these things, go ahead. It's your turn. You don't have to follow me around all the time, my friend.
So, well, you're the leader of the Caravans, so...
Mm-hmm.
But then I looked at Durotan and say, well, you're the leader of the group, though.
Well, let's go and ask about the around the port regarding the sunken ship and how did it sink in the first place.
Well, this old
Sounds
guy
great.
sounds like a good place to start, since he seems to be the one everyone goes to for knowledge. That or old Zach.
True, we'll try our luck in the harbor first.
Aren't we in the harbor?
No, as in on the main docks.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't. I thought we were already in the harbor. My bad.
We just have to,
I didn't see the rest of the map.
We just have to, ask around the docks and see what any of the sailors have to say about it.
Alright.
Okay, where you guys want to go?
Because I don't see that much sailors and it's afternoon time, so I will just simply... Oh, well, actually, wait. I'll actually ask this old man.
Old man,
Nice.
if you don't mind answering my question of curiosity, how did the nobleman's ship which carried his wife and child sink? If you know, that is.
Roll for persuasion.
Okay. Should be easy. Where are you? Oh.
Am I able to provide assistance to?
Then you need to role play and you need to roll a different persuasion.
Oh, okay. I mentioned, as Hayden mentioned, well, we've been speaking to the mayor, and we've sort of been trying to work out for ourselves. And I say, my suspicion personally, and I lean in and say, I think the Brotherhood was behind something, but we're just curious, trying to find out what exactly has happened.
Roll for persuasion. Durotan, roll for persuasion again.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Then the old man that looks to you, Durotan, and he looks to you, Waruay. And then after that, then he quickly brings you to the back, and he said, "You don't say that name here, the marketplace. Otherwise, unless you want your backs to have a blade behind you, it is dangerous, even for me. But he speaks up. I would like, before you even mention the name of the Brotherhood, I need to tell you one thing. But at night, come to me again to the marketplace. But look at the time. We don't have much time for discussion. We need to do this next week during the next session. And to be continued.